Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming today. My special guest, we have him again the second time, Mr. George Ghazalian. How are you, brother? How's it going?
Hi, Sarkis. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Did you just come back from your girlfriend's house? What's going on?
No, I just came from home.
Yeah? Are you sure about that? Come on, last time I heard you have a new girlfriend again, or you got quite a bit, right? You're a ladies' man, right?
No, I'm not that guy.
Well, too bad I'm a married man, or else I'd be having tons of girlfriends right now. I'm a chick magnet, if you know what I mean.
You know what? It's good you have a good wife, and like family is very important.
Absolutely,
I'd
I agree.
rather to have one wife than to have thousands of girlfriends.
Exactly, that's true. Or else they're all going to be running after me, and next thing you know, they're going to be pulling each other's hair over me all the time. I know that from experience, if you know what I mean. Anyways, George, so today's topic we're going to be talking about, after all, we have the soccer ball right here. We're going to be talking about Armenian national soccer team. And also, after we're done talking about that topic, we're going to be talking about all international professional soccer. Anyways, let's start with Armenian national soccer team. I'll just look at my notes right here. I want to start with, as you look here, okay. Armenian soccer team, the national team, after the collapse of Soviet Union, they had their first international match. It was October 14, 1992. Այսօրվա նյութերնից սիրելիներս պիտի մենք մեր Հայաստանի հավաքականի ֆուտբոլի թիմի մասին պիտի խոսենք, ամբողջ պատմությունը եւ այսօր ինչ կբադայի որ մեր Հայաստանի ֆուտբոլին համար, ինչ որն է առաջին խաղը, առաջին international խաղը հոկտեմբեր 14-ին 1992-ին սկսավ Moldova team. It was Armenia versus Moldova, and it was a draw, 0-0. And since then, they've had teams. Our biggest win was against Guatemala, May 28, 2016, and our biggest defeat was 9-0 against Norway. And the Armenian football team, the lowest FIFA ranking, it was 159 in July 1994. Obviously, it was a new team. It was only 2 years old, and they came 159th place. They were still new, and they were newly developing. Obviously, they weren't that good because they just became an independent country just 4 years, right, or 3 years. And their current FIFA ranking right now is 93 in December 21, 2023. As of right now, they're 93rd place. And highest FIFA ranking of all time was February 2014, ranked number 30 they became. 30 in the whole world they became, which is good. Մեր ամենազորավոր ranking-ը Հայաստանի ֆուտբոլի համար 30-րդը ելանք մենք 2014-ին ամբողջ աշխարհի մեջ, բայց հիմա 90-րդ տեղն ենք եւ ամենացած ranking-ը 159-րդ տեղն ենք 1994-ը. Over the years, we've had different coaches for Armenian soccer. We started with, I'll start here. In 1992 to 94, it was Edward Markarov. He was a former ex-Soviet Union soccer player for the Armenian SSR team, for Ararat and a former champion too in 1972 and 73, I believe it was. I don't know all the details about that, but I know mostly about the Armenian national football team. Then it was 1995 to 96, Samvel Darbinian, Horen Hovannisyan in 96, 97, 98, 99, Surin Barselian. I don't want to give the list of names, but basically almost every year they had a new coach. Eventually, when it got to 2006, 2007, we had the very best coach, Ian Porterfield. He was a Scottish coach, a former Scottish professional soccer player. He was Ian Porterfield. And eventually he died with colon cancer. And Vartan Minasyan, he was the assistant coach. He took over the team, but only temporary he took over the team. It was in 2007. And then they switched to another coach, an English coach, Tom Jones, in 2007 as well. However, 2 years later, after 2007, they reinstated Vartan Minasyan as the head coach. And Vartan Minasyan had a lot of success for the Armenian soccer team between 2009 to 2014. So 09, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, pretty much 6 years. He was the longest coach, and he was the most successful coach they had. And the thing is, in 2007, even though Vartan Minasyan was temporary, he was first the assistant coach, then Ian Porterfield died with colon cancer, and he took over. He wasn't very experienced. He was inexperienced as a coach, but when it got to 2009 to 2014, he had a lot of success. That is why Armenia came so close to make it to Euro Cup the first time in 2012. And there was group games. Armenia was tied, I think. Actually, they were in third place. They were 1 point below Southern Ireland, Republic of Ireland. And that game really screwed us up big time. There's the Spanish referee that day. They ended up taking Berezovsky out of the game. Apparently, it was a red card because apparently when the ball, they scored, before they scored on the goalie, they really fucked us over on that game because, okay, first of all, the Irish player, when he was, first of all, he was offside. Then as the ball came to him from the Irish team, it hit his shoulder first. Apparently the ref didn't see it, but the flag refs could have saw that because I think that was a bunch of bogus bullshit call, I think. It touched him right here, so that's considered a handball. And then he went to shoot on Berezovsky, and Berezovsky was in his own little crease there. It hit him right here. But the Spanish ref, I believe it was a fix. He went there and he threw the red card on Berezovsky, and Berezovsky was pissed off. He was trying to say he was right here. Mkhitaryan got involved, and they're all trying to explain what's going on. And what happened was, instead of the Irish player taking the red card, the Spanish referee in 2012, so he took our goalie out. And then eventually Armenia ended up losing 3-1 that game. It was the last game in the group qualifying for Euro Cup. They screwed us over, and we lost that game. We ended up third place instead of second because we would have had a better chance getting into Euro. At that time, they had a good ranking. They were in the 50s in the world. But in 2014, then they qualified for the World Cup. They were in a group of death, and they had the best team. They had all the all-stars. They had Henrik Mkhitaryan, Sarkis Serge Melengitchian, Yura Movsisyan, Ghazalian, Karlin Mkhitaryan, Marcos Pizzelli, and many more players they had. And Berezovsky was still the goaltender for the team. What they did was, okay, during that game, during that group qualifying in 2014, it was for World Cup, there was Italy, the favorite to win the whole thing. There was Denmark, Czech Republic, Bulgaria, and I believe there was Malta. Armenia ended up winning the first game against Malta 2-1. Then they ended up playing against Bulgaria. They lost, and then they played a couple other games. They lost again. But somehow, long story short, in that group qualifiers in the World Cup, they ended up this time beating Denmark 4-0. Then they ended up beating Denmark. No, I did say Denmark. They ended up beating Bulgaria 2-1. Me and my sister, we were going nuts during the whole thing, you know, watching on TV. As the minute I saw Armenia scored the second goal and they won 2-1, I went in tears, you know. I couldn't believe my eyes, right? Then they ended up beating Malta again, and one game they lost to Italy, but the last game they were in third, but they had to win that game. The game was in Rome against Italy. That they ended up tying in Italy 2-2, and that's how Armenia ended up in third place. And second place team, I believe it was Denmark at that time. But because they came third there and they tied Italy and they had those big victories, they ended up becoming ranked 30 in the whole world at that time. At that time, the Football Federation president was Rupen Hayrabetyyan. Many people know him as Nemez Rubo. I think he was a really intelligent man. I think he was really smart. He knew how to, you know, spend on the right players and this, that, and he knew the right coach was Vartan Minasyan. And at that time, you know, they had a bad start during the qualification, but eventually they started winning those games. And what happened was the press, the media, before they started winning, they started criticizing the Football Federation president. They criticized the coach, Vartan Minasyan, a lot. The press was always bugging them. They were bugging Berezovsky about all these things. Vartan Minasyan, he started getting angry and he started talking back. He goes, "We're not ready. We're facing up against the toughest team in the world at that time. When you have Denmark and then you got Bulgaria, you got Italy in front of you, right? And you also had Czech Republic too. It was a group of death." And the thing is, at the end, you know, they came ranked 30 in the world. And then what happened was Vartan Minasyan was kind of disappointed at the end. Halfway through, he was disappointed. And he was getting a lot of insults and he was getting pissed off too. He almost wanted to leave the team. But eventually, a Russian Premier League, one of the top teams, I don't remember exactly which team it was, they decided to hire Vartan Minasyan as the head coach from Armenia to go and coach that team. And he went there for better money, better pay and all that, and he ended up going there. They ended up replacing him with Bernard Chalant. He was a Swiss coach. He was a pretty good coach. He had success in other Premier Leagues. But however, he did not know the Armenian mentality and how to set the players up the right way and this, that. And Armenia during that time when they were in their peak, they had all the players like Mkhitaryan, Movsisyan, Arzospilis, those guys. They were in their 20s. They were young. They were in their peak. And what happened was they were very offensive team. They would win game after game and stuff. But Chalant would rather play 5-4-2, like that kind of setup. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Maybe it's 5-3-2, right? Yeah. 5-3-2. So he didn't have a lot of offensive players up front. So a lot of the games he played very defensive in the next Euro qualification, World qualification. And the players, they started having a lot of lose records and whatever. Like they were winning as much as they should because they were playing very defensive. They were playing Bernard Chalant's style of game, right? And after a year, they got rid of him. And then for a temporary coach as a caretaker, they call it. That means like a temporary coach for national team. They brought in Sarkis Serge, the former captain of Armenian national team. He was at that time, Sarkis Serge retired at 38 years old. And they decided to bring him as temporary. And he's had the most caps for Armenian national team. He's played 132 games, believe it or not. And during that time, after a year, he was temporary. Then they brought in, after Hovsepian, then it was Varjan Sukiasyan, another former Soviet player, Artur Petrosyan. Eventually, as things progressed, we lost all our top players. We lost Yura Movsisyan. We lost Arzospilis. We lost Ghazalian, Karlin Mkhitaryan. We lost Berezovsky. He was already 44 years old and he was going to retire. And the thing is, we got to 2020, I believe, during COVID or before COVID. things happened, regime changed, I don't know what. They decide to get rid of Rupen Hayrabityyan. It doesn't matter what kind of person he is. Me personally, a relative of mine personally knows him because he's actually a relative of my relative. His son married my one cousin's sister. Well, my cousin's son, actually, his daughter, Rupen Hayrabityyan's daughter, married my cousin's son. So he's like a relative of ours. They say Khanami in Armenian, but like an in-law, basically. And yeah, basically, he's not like my first cousin. He's like my second, third cousin's son that Rupen Hayrabityyan's daughter married. He was a very good man. He was a very honest man. He was the kind of guy, he was no nonsense. He would not take crap from anybody, but as soon as the regime change in 2018 or 2019, the revolution and whatever happened, they brought in a new federation guy. And the thing is, they started having no more success. We lost all our all-star players. They were already up to their late 20s, early 30s that I mentioned. Osbilius, Movsisyan, Berezovsky was gone. Ghazalian, Mkhitaryan was there. But Mkhitaryan, he decided to, they're saying he quit. However, he did not quit. This is behind the scenes. He was actually pretty disappointed with the way the team is going. Because after all, I did play for Armenian national team, and I know what happens behind the scenes. Like, he was very tight. He was very close to Rupen Hayrabityyan. But also, he was the top goal scorer in Armenia. He scored 32 goals in all his national teams that he played. And Mkhitaryan was a top all-star European player. He started with Punic when he was young in the early 2000s. Here, I have it here somewhere. I can mention the teams he played.
He played to Shakhtar, Dortmund.
Yeah, he played
Manchester United.
Yes.
Roma, and now he's playing for Inter Milan, which is on the top of Serie A, which is league for Italy.
Yes, exactly. And I have his accomplishments too right here. See, he played 95 games. He has 32 goals. He's the top goal scorer in the Armenian national team history. And the thing is, while he played on all these teams, every year he became Armenian Cup winner in his first year, then Armenian Super Cup winner in his second year, 2008, 2009. As he kept progressing, he's been Ukrainian Cup winner, Player of the Year 2012, 2013, Ukrainian Super Cup winner in 2013, best foreign player for Shakhtar Donetsk has been, German Bundesliga runner-up, German Super Cup winner. He's also, you mentioned Inter Milan, Italian Super Cup winner, Champions League runner-up, Italian Cup winner, Europa Cup.
With Manchester United?
Yes, Europa League runner-up for Arsenal, English League Cup winner for Man U, Manchester United. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me stop you here about Arsenal. You know what he did? What happened to him?
What happened to him?
So in the final, they played in Baku, Azerbaijan, and everyone knows about Armenia, Azerbaijan.
Yes.
There's no way an Armenian will go there and will come back alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Azerbaijan, they just love to kill Armenia.
Yeah, absolutely. Because no Armenian is safe there.
No, not even for 0%. So what happened at the time? The final game, Chelsea, Arsenal. It was in Baku.
Yeah.
And he said, I can't go. Like it's no point to go there because first of all, he's not going to play the game anyway. He's just going to.
They're not going to let him play. First of all, because he's an Armenian citizen, and on top of that, behind the scenes, they're going to kill him or something.
So and they did that a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
So what happened at the end? He didn't go, and Chelsea won 4-1 against Arsenal. So Arsenal defeated so bad because Mkhitaryan, he was the main player at the time.
Yeah, he was their MVP. He was their most valuable player.
Like he was very successful. He every place he went, he put his touch. In Manchester United, he did that in Rome. He's doing now in Inter Milan. Inter Milan is on the top of the league, and Henning Mkhitaryan, he playing almost 90% of the games.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
now he's 33, 34.
No,
But-
he's 2 years younger than me. He's 35.
Yeah, so but like they still depending on him, and he set up a lot of goals. He created a lot of goals. He scored a lot, and he's doing a great job. However, that is like the final. Arsenal Chelsea is very very disappointed, and
Yes.
it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, somebody is calling me on the phone right now. It's I can't recognize the number, but we will take your comments and your questions if you have anything to talk about in a bit. Right now we're discussing about our topic right there, and then we'll get the comments and questions and all that stuff. Also, you can leave comments down below during the live chat. Yes, yeah, you're right. And you know what? I'll mention another thing, just like you mentioned about Mkhitaryan when he was playing for Arsenal and he didn't want to go there because his life was in danger. This actually happened in 2006, 2007. This is where Europe fucked us up a bit, the FIFA. What happened was in the same group, it was Armenia and Azerbaijan. Somewhere in 2006, 2007, if I remember it clearly, what happened was Armenia had to go play in Azerbaijan and Azerbaijan had to come to Armenia. Azerbaijan mentioned, no, because of the tensions with Nagorno-Karabakh and this and that, we don't want to go to Armenia and we're not letting Armenia come into Azerbaijan. So basically, the games became forfeit. So Armenia should have got 6 points right there. Okay, this was the time when Ian Porterfield, you know, the one that died with colon cancer, he was the coach. Instead of FIFA giving us 6 points for, you know, Azerbaijan withdrawing, they said it became no contest.
Yeah.
So basically, we didn't get the 6 points. We got fucked over. We didn't go to Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan didn't come there. And after that, every single year or whenever they have qualification matches, if you know how they draw names out of the hat to see
they don't
if Armenia and Azerbaijan goes in the same group, they'll remove them. Well, hello, for FIFA, they should have told Azerbaijan, they should have put some sanctions. Look, if you guys are not going to play, that's considered a forfeit and the fine. And also, you guys have to follow the sanctions where even if you have political problems between Armenia and Azerbaijan, if Armenia comes to your country, not only you have to play and you have to guarantee their safety. If not, get the fuck out of Europe as a team. That's the way I look at it.
Well,
but they got too many stupid rules for stupid things, I think.
Well, here's the thing, like, you know, wrestling, Armenia always beat Azerbaijan all the time.
Yeah.
You know, they kick them all the time. Like,
absolutely.
They throw them outside of the stadium.
That was an excuse for Azerbaijan.
You know, because like they are just terrible. Azerbaijan, like, just terrible. And, you know, the thing about you mentioned FIFA and UEFA is corrupted. Even like any single organization is like under the FIFA, even AG, like they're all corrupted. Look what is going. I don't know if you.
I know they're corrupted, but can you be more specific on why they're corrupted? Because I do believe it. What you're saying.
Here's the thing. You know, like Sepp Blatter, he's Swiss. He was the head of the FIFA, the president of FIFA.
Yes.
So when like FIFA give the Qatar to host the World Cup, just the one like 2022.
Yeah.
So everyone say like Sepp Blatter is corrupted and he got money and all of that.
Okay.
However, Sepp Blatter and Platini, they went out and they removed them.
Okay.
At the end of the day, what happened? Qatar still host the World Cup.
Okay.
You know what happened in Qatar?
What happened in Qatar?
Here's the thing. You know, like any place when you have infrastructure and you have to build something, you have organization, like in any kind of job, you have a percentage of people like possibly to get injured or die. You know,
absolutely.
That's part of life. But the thing is, like, we try to stop that going on. Like, we don't want that to happen. However, like, if you go through all the World Cup that happened since 1930,
until
the last one, if you calculate all the people who died, building stadium, building the infrastructure, Qatar, more than 10 times people died there. Actually, they didn't die. They were being slaves.
Oh my God.
They being slaves in Qatar. Like people has no right. They didn't even have water. And you know how hot is it in Qatar? It's extreme hot.
Yeah.
And like at the end, people died under slavery.
Oh my God.
And FIFA did nothing for that. For like 8 years, they did nothing for that. They keep people dying and dying and dying. Like we talk about 10,000, like 20 or 25,000 people have been killed under slavery in Qatar.
And why do you think for that?
And FIFA, because they have money.
Yeah, they make billions on oil and this, that, and tourism. So they're taking bribery, of course.
So here's the thing. And when they host the World Cup, all the time FIFA, like, you know, before FIFA was doing World Cup between Europe and South America.
Absolutely.
Because those two continents is actually the main major like football successful there. After that, they start with, you know, Japan and South Korea.
Yeah, 2002 World Cup.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Right.
And what they said at the time, they said we want to do it like for the whole world because we need the whole world to be part of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Which is a very great idea.
Yeah.
However, when they look at each fight, they need to find like why we need to do it in a specific country.
Yeah.
Like why we need to do it in England. Well, England is the main nation. Like they have football, they have infrastructure, they have people, they have the Premier League, they have so many things to give it to England.
Absolutely.
Italy, they have won the 4-time World Cup. It's like that. But they say, well, let's take that out of the content. Let's say, for example, we need other countries who are actually successful as well, or they have like the fans. So like if you go to a country like Egypt, like 100 million of people, they have good teams. They won the African Cup. They did so many things. They don't host the World Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
How about Qatar? Qatar is like mini country.
Yeah.
It's tiny country.
Absolutely.
And they don't have population. They don't have even enough to build stadiums.
And they don't have enough stadiums. They don't have enough fields for stadiums.
And they didn't have like, they are like as a population for Qataris, they are less than 1 million. Like, but
oh my God.
Yeah, but like let's say overall, like between like the immigrant, the workers, they are more.
Absolutely.
So like what happened at the end? They give it to Qatar. Qatar has nothing, so they say we built everything, and they did build everything, but based on what? Based on slavery, and that's 2022.
Yeah,
people have been killed. And what about FIFA? They didn't care, not for a second. However, Qatar promised about the gay issue like would be open, but when the World Cup was on like coming, they say no, we're not allowed the gay there. So now become a problem for FIFA because we care about gay more about human life actually, more about people being killed, more about people being enslaved. So FIFA they made a big drama about gay more than actually life. And they're like this is what happened. And the whole thing was just a joke.
Well, I think
and they want to send their message and they want to say to the world, then we get the World Cup by our oil money, our gas money, and the FIFA did nothing. So if you talk about corruption, and they at the time they blame Sepp Blatter. Sepp Blatter gone long time ago.
Yeah.
Why they still host the World Cup?
Yeah.
So not Sepp Blatter. So I think Sepp Blatter was actually, after all, when I think what he has done for football, like he was looking forward, you know. And he's the one who was against like VAR, you know, VAR into technology, video assistant referee.
Okay.
So he was against it because he said like it's not going to be football anymore. And he was absolutely right. Like after that, like now when we're watching a game, it's a joke. Even with the VAR, like sometimes like so many mistakes, and you feel now game being fixed. So how it's working today, if they're like they want a team to win, if they have like a small doubt that that could be a chance for a foul or something, they go back to foul.
They go to check the cameras and stuff.
But if they want the other team to lose, they don't go to the foul.
Well, so I do agree with the checking camera though, but don't forget in many sports, North American sports.
North American sport, it's a sport.
Here in hockey, they started checking the cameras in case it was a penalty or if it was a goal, they don't just let it slip by. So there would be coaches challenge, or they would check the cameras, or if somebody's foot was offside, and then there's a goal in hockey, they always check the camera, and then they go no goal. Same in football. Let's say they do a tackle, or somebody got a defensive or offensive penalty, and they check the camera. Then one team gets yards, or the other guy gets yards. Like, I don't know how American football works, but I think it's not a bad thing checking cameras. You know how many teams over the years have got screwed in soccer because of that? Or so many times somebody should have got a red card, somebody else got screwed.
But today it's being fixed. So what's going on?
There's another fix to that.
Yeah.
So let's say somebody is actually getting a penalty shot or a foul or whatever. They're not checking those cameras.
Depend which team you want to win.
Oh my God.
So that's what's going on today.
What the fuck is with that then?
So if you are exactly. So before you could say like the referee didn't see it, and that could be possible. But with the VAR, when they don't come back to it, how come they didn't see it?
Yeah.
Like you have 4 or 5 assistant referees in the room watching the cameras, and they say like they skip it. How they skip it?
Exactly. So right there, it's fishy. See, I understand what you're trying to say.
And
so if they're gonna have to check cameras on one team, they're gonna have to check on all teams, on every little thing. I think.
Yes, exactly. Like
that makes sense.
Like the other example, like they play in Asia Cup now.
Yeah.
So like Qatar played against Iraq.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jordan against Iraq. So the Jordan, they celebrated for 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
No, it's a lot. But the referee did nothing for them. Because in football, like if you delayed the game or something, or like you take too much time, the referee either warn you or give you a yellow card.
Yeah, that's right.
So after that, the Iraqi, he's celebrate 1 minute and I think 10 or 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So less than Georgian. Yeah. However, the referee came and he gave him a yellow card, and that was his second yellow card, and he get the red card. And he was the best player on Iraqi, so they lost that player and they kicked him out. And the result that Iraq lost the game.
Oh my God!
And the Jordan won.
Yeah.
And all of that because Iraq was like one of the team was going to win the Asian Cup.
And just like in many sports, there's the betting system too. So because there's betting system, and let's say there's a lot of bets on this one team that has the biggest chance to win, and there's millions or billions of dollars placed bets on this one team, they're going to obviously trying to fix something or end it with a tie or whatever. So most of the betting system, money goes to either FIFA or whoever's behind all these things.
Well, the thing
is you cannot prove. That's another thing.
No, like the thing if it's something like that, whatever happened, you can't prove. Like look what happened in Italy 2006.
Yeah.
So the result of that was like a major collapse in Serie A. It was unfortunate, but however, hopefully that never happened to Italy. I love Italy. Italy is it's a place for football, really.
Absolutely, I agree. Well, people, put your comments down below. Write your comments. Also, pretty soon we'll get Q&As, questions and answers. The phone number is 905-357-8444. We'll be waiting for comments or questions and answers. We'll just take a 5-second break while I mention that. Like I said, put your questions down below. All right.
Yeah.
So as we were saying, and you know what? Imagine if they're gonna check the cameras and stuff. Back in the day where, it was, I think it was Argentina versus, was it England in the finals?
Germany, England.
Oh no! It was the hand of God. You know, Maradona.
No, that's
scored with
Maradona.
Yeah, I'm talking years and years.
No, it's
See, I don't know too much about soccer as well as you do, but I know some. Mostly I know about Armenian soccer because I follow the national team.
And that's one, and the other one was like Germany, England.
Yeah, and it was England, Argentina, the one I'm talking. It was the handball. He scored with a handball. So imagine if we had that camera system, they would have checked the cameras and they would have not counted and kept the games playing. This is what I believe. Also, they also call it the hand. They call it the hand of God.
Yeah.
The others, they call it the hand of fraud or whatever it was. You know,
like hand of God. Like Maradona at that World Cup, he was like
see the European
that game. He scored he scored the best goal ever.
Oh Jesus!
No, like in the same game you're talking about.
Yeah.
So he scored 2 goals, one in his hand, and everyone still talk about it. And the other goal, like he 6-7 players of England.
Well, in my opinion, that was a cheap goal, and I think England got screwed for that game. Sure, he's the big time legend, and God rest his soul. I love him and I respect him too. But hold on, I'm talking as a Canadian's point of view right here. I believe, okay, why don't they make soccer? I know soccer's traditional and a lot of screwed up rules I think Europeans have. I'm going to be honest, okay?
Okay.
Why don't they, instead of having 90 minutes and keep it full time and keep the clock running, or if they stop here and stop there, they will fucking put extra time. Even that extra time is a bunch of bogus too, because they never stop the time anyways. Let's say they give them an extra 5 or 4 or 2. Why don't they have in soccer whole 60 minutes, 30 minutes first half, 30 minutes second half, and why don't they
every second?
Yeah, why don't they stop the clock every second? The ball's out, stop the clock.
You know what? The football as
it will end up being 90 minutes too at the end. How many stoppages that happen? And forget about the extra stupid time they're giving.
You know
they could check every little detail on the camera. They could check handballs. They could check fouls. They could check all this crap. See, I always argued with my dad and a bunch of other people who were soccer nuts when it came to that.
Okay, let me tell you something. Do you know why American football? Oh, before I start talking about that, do you know where's the American football get that name from? Here's the thing. So in the beginning we have the football. This football.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the football.
That's right. It's originally called football. I get it.
And in the village called rugby.
Okay.
Someone hold the ball and start running with it.
Yeah.
So that's what they start coming with the game. It's called rugby.
Rugby, yeah.
Yeah. The English in Canada, after that, they brought the rugby.
Or Canadians, Americans, let's say, because we're like a mixed nation.
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
I'm coming to that. So first was football.
Yeah.
After that was rugby.
Rugby.
So they developed the rugby game. And here when they came to Canada, like they established Canadian things. So they have something called Canadian football.
That's right.
So the Canadian football took it from rugby.
Mm-hmm.
And they called rugby, it's actually called rugby football.
Yeah,
because rugby football came from football.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like football first, after that rugby football came from football.
Okay.
And they called rugby because the village name is called rugby.
Okay. You know what year that was? Was it in the 40s, 50s?
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay.
After that, the Canadian one, they get the game from the rugby football. So they called not rugby football, they called Canadian football. After the United States get the game from Canadian football, so they called American football.
And they're not the originators of that sport then.
No.
That makes sense. So Canadians were originator that copied the rugby football, and then they turned it to Canadian football, and the Americans turned it into American football. And you know, the Americans have the big dough, right? Most money.
Yeah. So that's why now they call American football and call American football, even though they don't use their feet much, because actually it came from the root. It's actually football. So that's the root of the game.
Yeah.
Come back to the American football. You know why American football is not number 1 sport in the world, and why the actual football is number 1 in the world?
Well, okay. Well, American football, I'm going to give credit to them too, is popular in United States and lots of parts in Canada too. But crazy hockey nuts like me, I watch a little bit of American football, and by the way, the Super Bowl Sunday, it's this Sunday. It's the Super Bowl finals. Yeah,
Okay, you know
it's going to be Kansas City versus San Francisco. I've been a San Francisco fan most of my life because my uncle Eli Ohanian, he used to love San Francisco, so I go San Francisco all the way, and I love my uncle Eli a lot. I love him till this day. Anyways, so
you know what? I live in Canada for 8 years, and if you didn't tell me now it's for whatever school is coming on Sunday, I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
That's how popular is American football.
Well, yeah, well, I get it. Well,
but the football, do you know why the football is popular?
Why football is popular?
Number one, because it's simple.
Yeah, it's a simple sport.
It's a people love it and like adore it because it's simple, not because it's complicated. Every time you complicate the game, every time you complicate the game, people get bored of it.
Yeah, well, here's another thing too. Hockey is a simple sport too, just like soccer we call, which is football for you guys. See, American football, yeah, it's got more rules and it's got more.
It's not rules, like it's all that's.
There's a lot of strategies to play the game.
Strategy.
Different styles.
For God's sake, they even have strategy. They just bunch of people running and hitting each other.
No, not exactly like that. See, I know most of the rules. My uncle explained me, but I've watched a little bit of football, but American football. But here's the thing, I get it. Soccer is more simple sport,
and it's actually like it's a lot of technique. It's a lot of talent.
Lots of conditioning because they're on the field running an hour and a half and they only have 4 subs. I get that.
And they don't have a helmet, use it as a weapon.
I get it.
So like for God's sake, when I look at them, you know what? I rather to watch rugby 10 times than American football.
Okay.
Because when you look, have you ever watched rugby?
Yeah, I've watched it plenty of times.
Yeah, but when you watch rugby, like you feel more like as a sport.
Yeah, nobody's wearing all these equipment and they're really getting hurt and they got a lot of scrums. I did play a little bit of rugby back in high school.
It's much nicer than American
But I went
football.
a few practice, that, but we didn't have enough players to have a team. It was in St. Catherine's Collegiate High School back in 2002 or 2003. That's when it was.
Can you tell me one legend of American football?
Oh, there's plenty.
No, one legend is all around the world knows.
Doug Flutie.
Who is he?
I think he played for Buffalo Bills.
No one heard of him.
There's also the broadcaster Mark Madden. Like
outside of North America, no one heard of it.
I don't know too much about American football too. You got to understand that.
No, but here's the thing: no one knows about any. Like, let me explain. Maradona, Pele, Cristiano, Ronaldo, Messi, Zidane. All of them know about them.
Yeah, I agree with you. American football, though, in North America, it's very popular. That I agree with you.
I don't know I don't know the teams' names. I don't know anything about them.
Okay.
It's not because I don't like sport. I watch tennis. I watch like a little bit of football.
Yeah, I'm not into tennis or rugby, but I have watched a little bit of those.
But you watch a little bit of sport because it's more.
Okay.
But like even like basketball, like everyone.
Basketball is worldwide now.
Like
it's part of the Olympics.
Jordan, and he was like,
they know Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul.
You know those people,
absolutely.
But they don't know anyone of American football.
We're kind of getting off topic now, different sports. But I'll tell you one thing. Okay, I'm not a soccer guy or football.
Well, you still know it.
I know a little bit of it. American football too. I'm not an American football guy. I know a little bit of it, just like every other. I'm a hockey guy. And here's another thing I want to mention. Yes, I agree with you on the one thing. Soccer or football, actual European football is recognized in the whole world, and it's the most popular.
It's simple.
It's simple, and it's a very cheap sport too. Very less expensive, I should say. All you need is shoes. And all you need is shorts and a t-shirt, and you just grab a ball and start kicking it around. Kids on the street in third world countries like South America, Africa, whatever, some of them, they don't even need shoes. Or a lot of poor kids on the streets, they just play. But here's the thing, hockey is also becoming a world international sport too. There's 53 countries that play hockey, including Armenia too right now.
Like a lot.
And Armenia is still, right now, it's developing. I was part of the Armenian national team in hockey. I did play 3 years in a row. I also used to play junior B hockey AAA hockey and AA hockey back in St. Catharines, back in my prime. Now I'm 37, of course. I'm almost hitting 40. And the thing is, hockey is also a world recognized sport. And here's the thing. Problem with hockey, though, is it's a very expensive sport. You need different equipment for different parts, because if you don't have equipment, you're going to get injured. You're probably going to get killed, especially if you don't have a helmet, too, because there's a lot of hitting.
Yeah, like in the hockey, it's different than American football.
And back in my days, in the 90s, the early 2000s, it was a violent game. And in hockey, the more you fought, the more you scruffed, the more you did. Back in my days, that's how we played. It was no-nonsense hockey. It was quick passes, headmanning the puck, this, that. Now they're trying to slowly get rid of too much hitting, too much violence, because nobody's condoning it. So now the younger kids, the generation,
so some becoming popular.
They don't know how to hit or take a hit. See, we know how to hit and we know how to take it, and we know where to be by the board so we don't get killed or we don't get hit from behind and stuff. And here's another thing I want to mention about hockey. It's a winter sport too. So a lot of the countries like Africa, Asia, or India, or Middle East, if they don't have money, they don't have funds, they cannot keep an indoor rink. So they have that trouble right there.
Well, I hate the thing.
But otherwise,
they can't build it. But do they play there?
Yeah, but all the countries that have winter, it's a really popular sport.
I'm not saying it's not popular.
And like countries like Poland, countries like Ukraine. Well, not Ukraine now in the situation, but countries like Switzerland, Sweden, and all this stuff. They play a lot better hockey, and they cherish hockey a lot more than they do soccer. Same with Russia. See, but this is the thing. But the countries that are third world and poverty and corruption, and they don't have winter, nobody can afford to play, and they don't know nothing about hockey. No offense, like I'm not trying to offend anybody, but there's a reality to this.
Here's the thing, like
this is where I defend hockey.
You mentioned Poland, like they have hockey, ice hockey.
Yes, of course.
Like it's actually ice hockey, not hockey. Because you have hockey and ice hockey.
Yeah, there's field hockey and ice hockey. This is ice hockey.
Okay, yeah.
But everybody calls it hockey. You know, it's the number one out of all these other hockeys, whether it's field or floor or lacrosse, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So like country like Poland is like ice hockey is very popular. Yeah. However, they still like the football team. They still like it, but they're better in hockey because they're in higher divisions. They're like Division 2 or Division 1. See, world hockey. Germany, do they have ice hockey? Of course. And they're which one is a favorite, ice hockey or football? Both. No, like yes, they sell tickets over there. No. I'm not saying they don't sell out every time. But like if you compare the sport as sport, like they're a little bit better in soccer though. What's the biggest stadium for ice hockey? Or the rink, whatever you call it. The biggest stadium. Well, it depends. The biggest stadiums, like money-wise, who makes the most money? It's NHL. Fit in the stadium. It could be 10,000, 20. No, it could be 50,000. That's the maximum. Sure, yeah. You know, like in football, they have in Maracana like 250,000. Yeah, because they got a way bigger field, a lot bigger stands. Because like you have like just imagine how much overhead they have to pay. 90,000 in Barcelona, 100,000 in Wembley. Like it's all those because big field. And don't forget, and you need to fit in more, and you need to sell the tickets more because put it this way: in Europe or North America, bigger space you have in anything, whether it's sports or stadiums or houses or whatever, the bigger it is, the more property tax there is. The bigger it is, the more seats you got to put in. You got to sell. Like it's very popular. It's like in Europe, when they have the World Cup for football, it's different than you have a World Cup for ice hockey. Yeah. Like even Europe, like when they have the UEFA Cup. Yeah. Like it's coming next summer. Okay. This summer coming. Like it's going to play in Germany. Yeah. So like people will watch that in Europe more than they watch ice hockey, I believe. In Germany, if the Germany have the UEFA, or if they have ice hockey, or they watch more. football is more, you know.
Well, yeah, of course. That I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
You know?
So the thing is like football, like is actually,
Well,
and because it's simple.
the event.
Now people they don't like football, which I say they don't like football. They don't like how football becomes like more technology, and people don't like that. People like it simple.
Yeah, like
People like to
soccer
watch-
traditionalists. They call
People
it.
like to watch it simple.
like you and the other end. You're a soccer traditionalist. You know what a traditionalist is?
Yeah,
People that grew up with the traditions of soccer.
But even today, like they have the VAR, and when they play the VAR, like after the player celebrated, and they go back and they say like, well, maybe half an inch he's offside, and they cancel the goal. Like for God's sake, they ruin the game. I don't like people don't like that technology that much.
I get it. Mostly North Americans like me, they want that.
The technology,
people are always complaining about it. Over the years, a lot of teams have got fucked. A lot of nations have got fucked. I did watch a bit of soccer. This guy should have got a red card because he friggin' hit this guy in the throat. They didn't do nothing. The stupid ref doesn't see. How many times I started going, what the fuck, ref? Every time I'm watching behind the thing. But in hockey, here's another thing. In soccer is no nonsense. The ref, under the ref's hand, basically the ref, your game is under the ref's hand. If you even question a ref or say, what the fuck was that? Red card, boom, you're out.
No, it's not like that.
Well,
it's the best. You can't speak, and here's the thing.
Or if you start yelling, screaming at the ref, what do you do? But in hockey, it's not like that. They make a stupid call. You can start arguing the ref.
You argue, but at the end of the day, only captains in football, only captains can speak with the referee.
Yeah, but in hockey, anybody can speak.
But they can speak. They can speak, but they cannot go too much. Like, you have a limit.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. In hockey, you can go too much. Unless you start hitting the ref, or unless you start threatening the ref.
Only happened in only Turkish kicked the referee. I don't know if you see that a couple of months ago. They put the referee under the ground, and they hit him so bad.
And this is another thing. Is let's compare soccer another time. Like, I wanted to get back into Armenian soccer and what the state is today, you know.
Yeah.
But one day we can compare hockey to soccer, maybe another episode when you come again. Well, my problem is, as I was mentioning Mkhitaryan and the way the league's going, since 2018, they got rid of Rupen Hayrabatyan. I don't care what kind of human being he is, or is a no-nonsense guy, or what kind of businesses he did, or whatever, right? The thing is, he had the best team, and he had the best coach from 2009 to 2014, and we had that last game in 2014 against Italy, and we tied 2-2 in Rome, right? And it's never happened before from a third world country like Armenia, like Latvia, Moldova, or San Marino, like any countries that were way behind in the hundreds or 80s or 70s, even the 50s ranking. Armenia was the first team to be a third world country to tie Italy 2-2. Balotelli was their top goal scorer, the Italian guy, at that time in 2014. We ended up coming third place. We didn't come second. We didn't go for playoffs qualification. We didn't end up going to the World Cup. That was the biggest chance we had because we had the youngest team and we had all-stars on the team. Not only we had Henrik Mkhitaryan playing for Borussia Dortmund at that time, we had Yoram Movsisyan playing for Spartak Moscow or Spartak Russia. We had Arazos Bilis playing in the Dutch Premier League. We had Ghazalian playing another Portuguese Premier League. Then Yoram Movsisyan playing for MLS. We had the best team. And I said, at that time and I got into a lot of arguments with other Armenians because of this. If we don't do it now, because those guys are in their 20s right now, we're never going to get this chance again. Because those guys, every time one of them got injured or something like that, whenever they had a backup reserve player, we did not have an all-star backup player. So if you look at the German national team or you look at the Italian, if one guy's out or one guy gets a red card or something,
those different.
They have reserve. See, Armenia did not have reserves. but they were at their peak with the all-stars on that team. So what happened as years went by, they kept losing. Then they got rid of this guy, that guy, a bunch of politics, this and that, you know.
But you compare like Armenia, like with Italy, Germany, it's like unfair, really unfair.
Okay, yeah, but not enough money spent. I get that, but at that time,
it's not just about
Football
money.
Federation was spending quite a bit of money to get those guys. And here's the thing:
it's not just about money.
Well, what's it about then?
Here's the thing: in Germany they have the Bundesliga.
Okay.
In Italy they have the Serie A.
Yeah.
In England they have the Premier League.
Yeah, top leagues in the world.
In Spain they have La Liga. So yeah, top league. And the thing with that, like those players, they have experience with all these international players.
Okay.
You know, like you cannot play in England if you're not an international player. You know that?
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So like if you don't play with Armenia, for example, Mkhitaryan, like I think 70% of the games, it's not allowed to play in England, something like that. So they have rules. So like they need the top players to play there. So like when you play with top players, even the good players, they become very good.
Yeah.
So for the national team, and that's why it's like it's money, yes, but they have the leagues. The league is very strong. Like Armenian league is not as strong as like Serie A.
Yeah,
so it's
of
not
course.
As strong as
it should be.
should be. No, let's be realistic.
Because billions that went into the country, and billions that went from FIFA to the Armenian
let's be
league,
realistic.
but they never spent enough money to have.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Whatever they do, they cannot be those like top five. You know, like the top five, like Spain, Italy, German, England.
Oh, so even if they spend billions and trillions of dollars, you're saying it's not going to get to that hype because a lot of their players or their teams in that Armenian Premier League, a lot of them don't make money.
No,
a lot of them don't sell tickets. You're right. If you go to their like Premier League and the people are playing against
each other, the quality of the players on the field.
Yeah,
not just the fan. The quality.
Hardly any fans show up in a lot of their stadiums.
No, but the thing is, even the quality of the players who you contact with, you know, like is a different. Yeah. It's different mentality, different player. So like Mkhitaryan, he's a high top player because he played in like teams like he starts
Borussia Dortmund, Arsenal, Man U.
No, but Sparta. He after that developed to Dortmund, to Manchester, to Arsenal, to Rome. Now he's playing Inter Milan. So this team,
I get it,
is very high level. So the thing he's been in contact and developed his mentality with those players. But he's one playing with those guys. However, like when you play in England as English player, you contact with Mkhitaryan and others. So you see the difference?
Yeah.
So the English player or the German players, they are contact with professional players all around the world, internationally. So like it's a different level. So even this, like, you know, I don't know if you know about that, China spent ton of monies on football. So they brought like players with like, I think a salary like 300,000 a year. So 300,000 a week or something like that. So they spend ton of money. Still China is not on top.
No, they're still not, and they probably can't be.
And China 1.5 billion. Sorry.
Well,
so my point is like even if Armenia spend money as you mentioned,
and if they get a way bigger stadium, this and that, they're probably not going to sell out either.
No, even like at the end of the day, like they need like those countries, like even like Holland. Holland like it's a school. It's not just.
Like, compared to Germany or Italy and those.
No, but they actually school because a lot of they have scouts all around the world.
Yeah,
and they pick players, they bring them to Holland, and like Ronaldo, for example, he play in Holland for a year or something, and they sell him out. So they are like more like those type of. But like to compare Armenia with Italy, Germany, is unfair on each level. It's unfair.
But
they have their chance. They have their chance. Like that's the thing. Like you support and you love your country. Doesn't matter what. Doesn't matter what they do.
Okay. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I always say, we need to be realistic when it comes what the end of the result. We do great on one point, But if the team didn't do like as well as in the past, we still go behind them and support that team. That's what I believe.
Okay, and here's where I want to agree to your point, because you know that I lived in Armenia. I was playing for the Armenian national team for hockey. I was playing ice hockey. Here's where I want to agree to your point, because I actually went to Armenian national team games, qualifying games, and friendly games. I actually did go. We cannot compare to Italy or Spain or England, those Premier Leagues that are at the top, because put it this way, when I went to Armenian national team games for the actual national team, it was only $10 to play, $10 to go and watch the game. $10 Canadian, I'm talking. Other games that I went that are in the Premier League, it's free to go and watch. And in the league, they don't have enough stands or people sitting there. Maybe there's 10, 20 people sitting and they're relatives of the other players. And I'm talking about in the Premier League. But when we had guys like Mkhitaryan, Mkhitaryan, maybe 5 or 10 I could name out of my fingers, right? Still, it wasn't enough. We need 100 more guys like that. But to have 100 more guys, I do agree with you. The Premier League, if you go watch the Premier Leagues, they don't even sell tickets. They don't even sell nachos or popcorn or beer. If I can imagine,
beer is banned under FIFA.
In Europe, if they're selling a Premier League match, they're probably selling €100, so one guy could go watch the game, right?
Yeah, like
and on top of that, they're probably selling 10 or 20 euros for a beer. I could be exaggerating, but I'm comparing the Canadian prices.
Beer is banned inside the stadium.
Oh, is it really?
Under the FIFA.
Oh, that's bullshit.
No, here's the thing about the...
I'll tell you why that's bullshit. Because when I went to the Armenian soccer games, I'm like, okay, I want a beer, I want nachos, because I go to hockey games over here, Buffalo Sabres game, Toronto Maple Leafs game. Once in a while, when there's an intermission, they throw prizes at you, or with a cannon, like a cannon gun, they shoot a Subway sandwich. I'm like, why don't they have this fucking shit in Armenia? I'm going like,
no, the thing is, here's the thing. I went once to Cardiff in Wales. You know Cardiff?
In Wales, yeah.
Yeah, so I went one there to Stadium Millennium at the time, to Crown Principality.
Yeah.
So that stadium is for national team mainly. So they play like final cup or something.
Yeah.
So when they play rugby, you can't drink beer in that stadium.
Well, that's stupid. How do they expect to make more money then?
But when they play football,
they're
not allowed to have beer in the stadium. Jeez. And the reason that because the FIFA banned the beer or alcohol in general in the stadium.
But why did they do that?
Because
what year
the hooligans.
The what?
Hooligans.
Hooligans?
Yeah.
Well, and why are they hooligans? So they start fighting and beating each other up?
Yeah, like it was a lot of things happen over the years.
Oh my God.
Like people actually, like a lot of fight, people actually died. Like you have,
or somebody brings their baby over there to watch a game. Next thing you know,
people died. People died in fighting. So over the time, so that's actually a lot of.
And what's with Europeans always fighting your soccer, man? Like seriously?
That's the thing, because it's very passionate and like.
Well, that's how hockey was back in the 1950s or the 1960s. One time it was Toronto Maple Leaf game, Montreal. This was original 6th time in the 60s. One didn't win the Stanley Cup, and next thing you know, everybody started trashing the streets everywhere. But guess what? By the time we got to the 80s, the 90s, there was a little bit of scruff going on. People start yelling, screaming. Now you can go to a Toronto Maple Leaf game, or you can go to a Buffalo Sabre game. You can wear a jersey on the opposite side of the team. Nobody gives a shit anymore. That's the thing.
Well, the thing is,
but why don't Europeans do that? Okay, you support Man U. I'll support Arsenal, and I go to a Man U game. Who gives a fuck? I'm wearing Arsenal in the end.
No,
tell me that. That's my mentality where I'm.
No, they say football like politics.
Yeah.
Like it's like you cannot change. It's football. It's like that. It's like they are like when you are into football. That's it. Okay. You're stuck with that. So a very bad situation happened. Very sad. Juventus Liverpool. So between the
Juventus,
fans,
yeah.
yeah, between the fans, like almost 50 people died at that time. So the result of that, they banned English teams to play in Europe for 5 years,
Yeah.
and Liverpool, I believe, at the time maybe 15 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
they so that's when we come to alcohol in the stadium. When it's come to football, is so here's the thing. Like they talk about Qatar not have alcohol in the stadium, or here I think that's the only funny part about it. I say, well, they don't drink alcohol in any stadium for football, so I'll skip that. So because over the years it was very sad stories.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so no alcohol.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
They are crazy without alcohol.
Not only I'm a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, but I support all Canadian teams in hockey. Edmonton Oilers, I love that team too. I also support Montreal Canadiens. Some Leaf fans now, they go, they're not Canadian team, Montreal. I support all Canadian teams, and there's 7 of them. Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa Senators, Vancouver Canucks. No, because, last time a Canadian team actually won the Stanley Cup was in 1993 when it was John Leclerc, Vincent Damphousse, Eric Desjardins. 1993, they beat, I believe they beat the Los Angeles Kings. And ever since that, we've had maybe 3 or 4 attempts of another Canadian team making the finals. But ever since then, we haven't had a Canadian team making it in the finals or even winning the Stanley Cup. So that's why I support Canadian teams. But that Toronto-Boston rivalry, there's Boston fans, they think they're some big deal. I do have friends who are Boston fans. Toronto fans hate Boston fans. Boston fans hate Toronto fans. But, buddy, if they get to go to each other's stadium, nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a fuck.
Football is different.
That's the problem. But even there's consequences in those European countries. They can go to jail or they can get fined. They can get all these things. They still don't give a shit. They rather go to jail just for that one game.
Yeah, and even like some countries, if you have trouble in it, they ban you to go into that country.
Oh,
because they travel a lot between each other. So it's very that's football. It's very passionate game.
I get it. Hockey is passionate too, but we became civilized over the years.
You know what?
We're passionate too when it comes to hockey, but we're civilized now when it comes to it. I don't care if I'm supporting one of these Canadian teams I mentioned. Somebody else wants to support San Jose Sharks. I might argue with him, but I'm not going to turn around and kick the crap out of him or knife this guy or something like that, like they do in soccer, for God's sake.
One of the funny scenes ever seen, there are 2 players they used to play for Manchester United.
Mm-hmm.
So Gary Neville and Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah.
Peter Schmeichel, he moved to Man City.
Mm-hmm.
So when sometimes players see each other in the tunnel, he didn't handshake with him because he moved with his rival.
Yeah. So
it's not even he didn't say hello to him.
Yeah.
So football, if you support a team, a lot, even you talk about managers or players. I don't know, now they are Liverpool manager, Joran Klopp. He's going to not going to manage Liverpool anymore. He said it's too much for him because the Premier League is actually a lot of work in it. But he said, I'm moving on, and but in the future I would never coach other English league, other than because he was for Liverpool.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not going to do that for any other teams like that.
Okay.
So some players, they say if they play for Barcelona, they say we'll never play for Real Madrid, and if they did, it's big problem. If you support Real Madrid and Barcelona going to play in Euro, you don't support Barcelona even they're Spanish.
Oh wow.
So it's like that. But you talk about Canadian, you support other team.
Yeah.
In football, it's not like that. It's if you support this team, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I understand. Yeah.
And if you want to talk about more Armenian football.
Well, I want to now stick to that subject. Like I was telling you, we had the highest rank in our peak. I did mention that, right? But after that, as we kept decreasing, right now we're ranked 93 in the world. fucking from 2014, we were ranked number 30 in the world. And now we're down to 93. And especially with this new regime and this new football federation president, since he got into power since 2018. Okay. The last qualifying matches you did watch, right? It was, and we had an easy qualifying matches. If we still had these all-stars like Yoram Osisian, Henrik Mkhitaryan, Oz Billis, Marcos Pizzelli, Ghazalian, they're only in their early 30s right now. They should have still played. But this new football federation guy here, I can get his name in a minute. I have his name here somewhere. What he did was, okay, those players, sure, they were all-star players. They played in all-star leagues and premier leagues and stuff in Europe. He got rid of them because they had connections with Rupen Ayrabetyan or other political connections. Well, guess what? But they were bringing results to our national team. The ones they have today, okay, these guys have connections with the new political regime, but they're not good enough. And this is the reason why they're not good enough. We had an easy thing this time. Compared to 2014, we had a group of death with Italy, Denmark, Czech Republic, and whatnot. We had Turkey. We had Turkey. They were a half-decent team. We had Croatia. Croatia was odds-on favorite. We had what was that team called? Latvia, which is the worst team in the thing.
I think we started well. We didn't lose any game in the first 3 or 4. And after that, we started down.
Well, I'm going to get there in a minute. So we had Turkey, we had Croatia, we had Latvia, and what was the fourth team again? We had Wales. Okay, here's what I don't understand right now. And they did not call. They're saying Mkhitaryan retired. Mkhitaryan's not good enough to play. He's too old. This is what the Armenian news media says. Okay, this is where the bullshit comes in play. Mkhitaryan, you're going to tell me he's retired and he did not want to play, or they didn't want him to play. He's too old. Guess what? He won the Italian Super Cup winner this year and last year.
It's different.
And also, he became Player of the Year 2 years in a row for Inter Milan, the team that you mentioned. And he's getting top dollars right now. How could he be, if he's 35 and he's too old, how could he be Player of the Year? How could he be the top player in that Italian Premier League? That's what I don't understand. And he should have played for the national team. He wanted to play, but they didn't want him to play. This is where I'm going to defend him right there.
Well, I defend him, even like if he wanted or don't want to, because based on his age, here's the thing. A lot of players, when they reach the age of like 34, 35, they quit the national team and they just stuck with their club. And that's like all around the world. So it's not unique for Mkhitaryan.
Well, Cristiano Ronaldo played till he was, how old was he? 37, 38.
Well, here's the thing. No, he never retired.
Oh, he's still playing for
both. Yeah, he's 39 years old. He's going
there
to be
you
40.
go. So Mkhitaryan was only 35. He could have played till he's 40 at least.
Well, today is 5th of February.
Yeah.
Today he's 40. Today
he's 40. And he's still playing for the national team for Portugal.
But
he's still the top goal scorer.
He moved to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
They
gave, he broke the record, 150 million euros or whatever that was.
I think 200.
200, there you go. And a lot of people thought that was stupid or that was retarded.
He brought a lot of players. But the point is, like, if Messi, he moved to US.
Yeah.
To Miami. Because it's easy games for them.
Yeah,
for both of them.
Absolutely.
I'm not criticizing them. I'm not criticizing Messi or Cristiano, but like, it's at the end of the day, like, your body deserves some. Like, you cannot play for top league and play for national league when you are 35 or 36.
Yeah,
it's time to say like my body, because the thing is, like, you play sport,
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you get injured when you are 20s,
yeah, of course,
next day you come back to the game.
Yeah.
But if you are 35 and if you get injured, you need a week to recover.
Well, yeah.
So a lot of players on that age. So that's around the world.
But he's playing on the top league, and is becoming player of the
But
year,
the thing,
he can still play national team.
no,
I
but
think
the
that's
thing
where I'm going to
for
defend
players
him on
at that
this.
age, that's the point. The players, they want that break because every month they have a week, like
Yeah,
they
week
go
to heal and this,
they
that. So
go
the older
international.
you are,
No, they
it's
go
hard to heal.
international every month. They have 1 week. They go international break.
Yeah.
So like basically like you go to Armenia, to Italy, whoever. So that's called international break.
Yeah.
So a player who play for clubs, he use that week instead of to recover because their body is not going to keep going. Like Cristiano Ronaldo, he have equipment at his home to recover.
Yeah.
They talk about he have like ice bath, he have the machine to get his sleep, all of that. They have ton of things in his apartment, and the thing is like to recover because in his age is different than when he was 20s.
Yeah.
In his 20s, like you kick him now, he play tomorrow. Mkhitaryan is the same. He's 35, 36. He's time for this break to recover. If they don't want him to play, but at the end of the day, like it's not a unique situation on his age.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but if I would have agreed with you if Mkhitaryan would, instead of playing for Inter Milan, he would have went to play in MLS, US, or play another lower level Premier League like Ukraine, or if he would have played for just like,
he's doing great.
Or Saudi Arabia, if he would have played. I agree with you. He's not that good enough anymore, but he's playing in a top team, Inter Milan, which the competition is a lot fierce, and he's got 20-year-olds in front of him who are also natural goal scorers, but he became player of the year.
Yeah.
35 years old. So that means he still has the edge. And here's another thing I want to compare. See, I understand what you're saying, overall sports, and if you get to 35 or you get to 40, your body doesn't heal as fast. See, that is why me, personally, I used to play junior B for Falcons when I was 19, 20. I was a lot faster. I was 30 pounds lighter. I was a natural goal scorer. But by the time I got to 25 or 27 to my 30s, I ended up playing for Armenian national team because, it's not the same as Canadian national team or American. It's more laid back, more relaxed, and I was top goal scorer there. But when I became top goal scorer, I was 30, 31, and 32 years old. I did it.
Okay.
I'm already an old man when it comes to hockey. See, I couldn't play junior B or OHL or WHL or AHL anymore because after 20, 25, if you don't make it to pros here in hockey, that's it. You're done. That's how it goes. I'm sure in soccer it's similar, right?
Yeah.
However, in Armenia, I'll mention another thing. See, this is where I kind of understand Mkhitaryan too. Okay, Armenians and team sport does not go together. And you're going to say why. Before you get excited, I'm going to tell you why. Here in North America or in Western Europe, whether Germany or Italy or Spain or Canada, US, team sports are successful because you need communication amongst players. You need to listen to your coach no matter what he says and listen all the way and not interrupt your coach. There's a discipline right there. And I'm sure for soccer in Armenia, it's most likely the same way because my experience in hockey, those guys were lower level than I was. They were also pretty good players. They were to play in Canada, they were single A. Their best player maybe was double A. I don't want to give any names, this and that. And I'm not trying to knock these guys down. They were great guys to play with, party with, and we had a great coach, Meir Hovhannisyan. He was, God rest his soul, and he was a really good friend of mine too. But even though I was top goal scorer, and I had Canadian experience when it comes to hockey. See, the guys over there, they didn't understand the game like I did. Head manning the puck, dump and chase, dump it over the boards. A lot of the times they would go by the blue line. They would try to cross the middle of the blue line in hockey. Like hockey fans now, they understand. Yeah, you wouldn't know. That's what I want to explain so also people who are listening to us can understand. Once you get closer to blue line, you don't make a cross ice pass in the blue line. You're going to create me or someone else offside that way. What I would do is if I get to the blue line, if I couldn't pass these two guys in front of me, I would dump it around the boards. Those guys who are offensive players like me, they would run towards the boards and one of them would run in front of the net. Or either you do by the boards or you take a shot on the goalie and you two guys have to charge right in front of the net so they could take a rebound. Make sense? See, a lot of those guys, those little tactics, they could not understand over there. And every second, this is the bullshit I had to deal with over here. Play pass, you're not playing pass, or I would score a goal, I would deke through two guys because I was too fast for those guys. They'd be like, oh, you didn't pass, you didn't give me. Or let's say I take a shot and I tell them to dump and fucking get your ass over there, I used to tell them in Armenian. Yes, shutem, tumvaze golin archiv, I used to tell them. They couldn't understand it. No, you got to pass. I'm not going to pass through the fucking blue line, I used to say. I'm going to put us at the offside, or one of their players are going to grab it and they're going to charge towards our net, basically. So I'm sure with Mkhitaryan's experience, he had those ideas because he played in Europe.
Yeah, he has the mentality, yeah.
With Armenians, okay, and I'm sure there's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of, oh, you didn't pass me, I didn't pass you, all this crap like little children, like kindergarten. Armenians, when it comes to team sports, they all argue amongst each other. And then instead of listening to the coach, instead of listening to other players and all this crap, they all go business for themselves. You know what I mean by business for themselves? Instead of playing the way the strategy or the way the coach said, that's how you got to play, or this is who you're going to pass in front of the net. They start doing things on their own way, and this is where...
This is come to the coach, actually.
Well, it comes to the coach, but when it comes to Armenian players, a lot of them don't listen to the coach. I know that from experience.
Yeah, but I think if the player doesn't listen to the coach's responsibility to not bring that player again.
Yeah.
So that's what comes to the coach.
So when it comes to Armenian national teams in any sport, any team sport, the coach is responsible when the players not follow his. Like here's the thing: if the coach is fail to let the players follow his plan, his tactic, he failed. Yeah,
so it's his responsibility.
Okay, well, here's the thing when it came to hockey. This is what I want to...
Whatever, it's a coach's responsibility.
I totally understand what you mean, but I'm trying to tell you when it comes to Armenian team sports...
It doesn't matter. I don't bring them.
You don't have a lot of substitutes. You don't have a lot of choices.
No, here's the thing.
And if you have out of 15 guys and you have 9 out of 10 acting this way, you're going to bench them all this time. You're not going to have a team to play out there.
Successful, look, here, I'll give you an example. Syria was playing in Asia Cup just now. Syria, like on the level of football, you could compare it with Armenia. Maybe it's a little bit better than Armenia. It's something like that. It's too close to each other.
Yeah.
But the different Armenia playing in Europe, Syria playing in Asia.
Yeah, and they have better chances, of course, because Asian.
Well, here's the thing.
Continent, not all the teams are that good. At the end of the day,
like Armenian playing in they converted for like European clubs, so they develop more.
Yeah.
So it's the same. Like basically the same.
They develop more, but they're not developing right now. That's the problem.
But based on Asia, like Syria is a good rank. Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
So they have Hector Cooper. Is a coach for Syria. So he's not from Syria. Okay. So he came to the team and he found those players. And in general, like 90% of the time, Syria depend on the local players. You know, like Syria, they have players all around the world.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people like immigrate to other countries.
Yeah.
And they play like in Sweden in top league, in Colombia and Argentina, depend. So this coach, he came, I'm going to bring the international players.
Okay.
Because they have different mentality, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So because like their brain, they work with the tactic, they bring whatever. And he brought the local as well. One of the players he played his called Soma. He considered the best player kind of in Asia. So he brought him to the game against Japan. And somehow he found he doesn't follow his tactic. He's considered for Syria kind of like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Mhm.
Okay. He said, like, I'm not taking you to the Asia Cup. Simple like that. He was kind of the best player on the team. Like, imagine if you are playing for like Brazil, you don't bring Ronaldinho or Ronaldo or Kaká or like Cristiano or Messi. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that. He didn't bring that player. But what happened after that? We have a team. They play with, as the coach asked. So they play with tactique. They were very organized. They played against Australia. They just like Australia is a high level. They just beat 1-0. Uzbekistan. They played like Iran. Iran, they would beat Syria very easy, but they found difficult. They end up with the extra time and penalties for Iran to beat Syria.
Mhm.
Why? Because they follow the coach.
Yeah.
The coach, at the end of the day, is responsible to make this player play as he wish, not other ways around. So if the players, doesn't matter who they are, if they think is they are above the coach, and the coach let that happen, is the coach's responsibility, not the players. Because at the end of the day, how old are the players? 20s?
20s.
So they still have like
Yeah.
kind of like
20s or late 20s, depends.
like a lot of players, they have that like teenager attitude.
Yeah, I
So
get
the
that.
coach
And
is
there's a lot of ego.
responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the coach is responsible. So you don't play the players, you play the coach.
Okay.
If the coach not like sharp with the players,
Mhm.
it's his
Okay.
responsibility.
Well, a friend of mine also said, a really good friend of mine, Armenia's style of playing is also similar style to Polish national team, also Ukrainian and Russian national team. And don't forget, they're all ex-Soviet countries too, and they have that same mentality. Like you have more Middle Eastern mentality, and now you've adopted Canadian mentality too. You're in between there. You have the Canadian mentality, right? So somewhat we're understanding each other, but here's the thing. In ex-Soviet countries, a lot of them, they're very, very stubborn. Okay. They believe everything has to be their way all the time. This can be a
Yeah, I
problem.
understand.
Okay. This is what I mean. Even Polish too, they have Lewandowski, their number one player that plays across Europe and whatever. I don't know all these clubs.
He's
At one
playing
point,
Barcelona now.
yeah, now he's playing Barcelona. There you go. He's also like Mkhitaryan. He also played with Mkhitaryan for Borussia Dortmund. But here's the thing now. Okay, the way they treat Mkhitaryan in the national team, ever since Rupen Hayrabatyan left, and those players that now they're newcomer players and they played in the Armenian leagues or this, that, not too many players that play in the European leagues, right? The way they're treating him, the Polish too. When it comes to their Polish national team, they're treating Lewandowski the same way. There's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of hatred amongst the players, of course. A lot of them, they don't listen to the coach, or if the coach says, throw the ball up to him and so he can run it and get a breakaway or whatever. See, it's the same in hockey, similar to that. They will not do, they will refuse to do. I've had it happen to me a bunch of times. And a bunch of times where I got pissed off, I started telling my own guys on my hockey team, go fuck yourself. I'm going to do it myself. I started grabbing the puck, started going all the way in net, boom, goal.
So
This is how you guys want to play. I'm going to fucking tell you guys how it is now. Like, I got mad because I have a junior B level, AAA level skill. You can check on my YouTube channel where I played on the Armenian national team in 2017, 18, and 19, all the goals I did. Because there came points they're not listening to me. And then they're arguing with me. A bunch of times
you're not the coach.
Oh, I'm not the coach, but you know what? The coach ended up giving me the green light too.
So
Go
were
for
you
it
the
or
captain?
whatever. I was the top goal scorer.
But were you the captain?
I was not the captain because the captain needs to know how to communicate. I didn't want to be captain because over there they speak mostly Russian and Eastern Armenian. I speak Western Armenian, and I also speak English too, and I speak Spanish and French. None of these languages were going to work because most of the referees were either Ukrainian or Russian. They spoke a different language. See, that's where somebody else had to be.
I know like that was going to be the case. However, since you're not the captain, but here realistically, if you're not the captain, the players are less likely to listen to you.
Okay, no. I was assistant captain. See, here's another thing. We have captain and 3 assistant captains.
Yes, like the same like in football.
Okay, but here's the thing. With the referees, I had trouble communicating.
You communicate, yeah.
A lot of times my coach said, speak Armenian, don't say a word in English, because I was kind of playing, like, God rest his soul, I don't want to give a lot of details, because I could not express myself.
And because like the language.
Then they were gonna do a background check on me, and they were gonna see if I'm an Armenian citizen this time. I had to forge my citizenship so I actually play. That's another thing. No, but makes sense. This is where I kind of understand what Mkhitaryan is going through, because I know what happens behind the scenes. I know what happens during the federation meetings. I was in federation meetings too, and conferences too. And so many times, see, this is the thing, George, if you haven't lived in Armenia I lived there for 2.5 years straight. I also been there 2006, 07, 08, 09, 010. I've been there 15 to 20 times I've been there. And the longest I stayed there was 2.5 years. From 2017 to 2019. I've seen the old regime, I've seen the new regime. I don't see any difference over there right now. Because everybody's stubborn, everybody likes to argue, everybody likes to yell, everybody's got ego. No, I'm the chief. We got too many chiefs, not enough Indians. You know, in a ship, right? If you have too many captains, your ship's going to sink.
Yes, that's true.
Okay. Captain over there at that time, he was a good player, and he could communicate in Russian or Ukrainian with the referees. However, he did not have a lot of understanding when it came to hockey. I hate to say it. Okay? A lot of those other guys, they don't have Canadian understanding when it comes to hockey. Even Europeans today, those top teams like Swedish.
Who's #1 in hockey?
Canada right now.
Yeah, I think that's...
They won the gold medal the last few years. But that's another topic I want to get into.
Oh, they don't have any other sport, no?
What else? Canadians?
Yeah. So that's
we're good in a lot of sports.
Like what?
We're good in swimming. We're good in high jump, running.
Do they have medals?
We're good in basketball. Yeah, they have medals.
In Olympics?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, over the years. Okay, we're getting off
because I know
now.
like the top in Olympics you have like China, US.
Yeah.
1 or 2nd, like they always compete each other.
Yeah.
You have Russia, UK.
Yeah.
Those like the Germany after them.
Yeah, well, Canada, don't forget.
Maybe it's winter sports.
Well, winter sports, some summer sports.
Maybe Olympics.
But here's the thing, like Canada or Russia or like those top countries, they always go with a couple hundred athletes. Country like Armenia, they only go with 10, 20 athletes. Yeah. So their chances of winning more medals is low.
But like to compare like Canada to US is like a big gap, no?
Yeah, America goes with 500 athletes.
No,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Canada always wins different medals, whether it's bronze, or silver, or gold.
But they mainly winter Olympics.
Mainly winter.
Yeah.
But
because it's like mainly that's how.
But hockey, they're #1 most of the time. If they don't get gold that year, they'll get silver or bronze or whatever. Or if they get unlucky, they get 4th or 5th.
What about like country like Czech or like Slovakia or like Sweden?
Okay, now we're totally getting off.
No, because we were talking about hockey for the last 10, 20 minutes.
No, we're talking hockey and soccer now. Like I was trying to get to the point.
I need to know something about hockey if I will keep going on the hockey.
No, the hockey thing, what I'm trying to say as my experience in Armenia, right? If you haven't lived there, you want to know. That's what I understand what Mkhitaryan is going through.
What?
There's new management, new federation president in soccer. And don't forget, Mkhitaryan, he was close to Rupen Hayrabetyyan. And also Rupen Hayrabetyyan, he had an understanding for soccer too. That's the thing. He had understanding where he needs these top goal scorers from different countries. And he did put money into it so they could have these guys. And they were at their peaks. Right now, the new guy, he has no understanding of soccer. Every time, this is what happens. Just like I named list of coaches. And right now we have this Ukrainian soccer coach. If his name is here, I'll find his name. Alexander Petrakov, Ukrainian coach. But over the years, whenever we had European coaches, okay, whether it's English or Scottish or Swiss or Swedish, problem is they lasted 1 year and they go. The thing is, there is a communication problem between the Armenians in Armenia and the European coaches. And even though those European coaches, they have great success in other national teams or Premier Leagues, but they cannot see the concept.
But those coaches, I never heard of them as international.
Oh, the last coach we had before Alexander Petrakov, last coach we had was Joaquin Caparros. He played he coached big teams, this guy. See, I have his picture right here. Joaquin Caparros in 2020. And he coached teams like if I show you, he coached Sevilla, he coached Osasuna. See, I don't know these teams.
Spanish.
Athletic Bilbao. He's won championships in. Oh yeah, he's won championships for his teams that he coached. He was
Sevilla.
On paper. You know what I mean by on paper? Yeah, on paper, he had the best track record. Just like I mentioned about Bernard Chalant, when Vartan Minassian left after 2014, the Switzerland coach, he also had great success too on paper. But he was playing a totally different style than what Vartan Minassian was doing. Vartan Minassian was playing more offensively. Bernard Chalant was playing more defensively when it came to soccer. That I mentioned 4-4-2 or whatever that was.
Well, the thing when it comes to the football, like you need to see what type of players you have plus you need to bring the players is fit you. Here's the thing about international national team and like a club. Club, you buy your players. National, you have those players. You can pick and choose who you want.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're going to play a specific style, but you don't have the players to play that styles, and you brought those players, it's not going to work with you.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's when it comes to the football.
And why is that?
Like no, that's the natural football. Like you have like good players. Like for example, Italy.
Yeah.
Italy is well-known as defense team, and they have the great defense ever. Like some one time I was watching to Rod Van Nistelrooy talk about when he played against AC Milan. He talked about like Maldini, Cafu, Nesta, like Stam, like they say when they come in, like you cannot do anything for that, like because Italy is well known of, they call it the calcio, you know? So like very good, like aggressive defense, you know.
Yeah.
So when you play for Italy, when you coach Italy, you cannot go offensive. You're not coaching Brazil. Like for example, Brazil is well known as offensive.
Okay.
You know, so it depends who you're coaching.
Yeah, depends who you're coaching and depends the players
you have at the time.
But countries like that, whether it's Brazil or Italy, they can transition from one style, or they can't not much. Okay,
like
so
you can't do a limit. Like that's what Scolari did with the Brazil.
Okay.
He played like they make them more organized in 2002.
Yeah.
But they still like they have players like Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Like when they can't change the game in any second. So like you need to do what you have, what you start. Like Germany, it's all the time it's organized team. Like this is 4-4-2, 4-3-3, whatever it is. So they follow the rules, and that's what Germany is.
Yeah, and they're very square-minded, and that's how they do it.
That's their mentality.
See, but
Argentina,
like I was saying, in the Western part of the world, everybody's good communicators. But when you go,
Messi won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Argentina won the World Cup.
Yeah.
They have players like Messi who do as he wish, you know?
Yeah.
Like he does not just follow the rules.
Oh, okay. He does.
But he has a talent.
He wishes. Yeah.
So like the thing is you need always to see like what player you have. But like I don't know if you heard of Greek in 2004.
Who?
Greece.
Greece. Oh, okay. Yeah.
2004.
I remember that one. They
Yeah.
ended up winning the Euro Cup at the end.
And how they did that? Because
They played very defensively. They won every single game, 1-0.
so like
1-0.
yeah. So like here's the thing. Like
And-
they have a coach. He was German at the time, I believe.
And that was Cristiano Ronaldo's debut. He was only 20 years old.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. So
I used to love Ronaldo
Like
that
was,
time.
yeah.
He wasn't very cocky and arrogant that time. I still respect the guy because he did good for himself. You know,
No,
he made
like,
millions of dollars.
he's the most professional players you ever seen.
Yeah,
Cristiano
yeah.
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Like people say whatever about him, but like when it comes to professional, like he go to the he practice, he train, he do everything, and like he's like what about Cristiano? Like he wants to win every single game,
Sure.
and he score or assist or do something.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be second.
Yeah, but let's go back to 2004 Euro Cup, which was in Portugal. They beat the team that was odds-on favorite.
Yes.
It was Portugal. Everybody thought because it was in Portugal.
Cristiano.
Yeah, Figo, Cristiano Ronaldo. Who else was on that team?
Costa, I believe.
Yeah.
Also,
one of my favorite players at that time debuted, Fernando Torres for Spain.
No, they did very great. But the thing is, as you everyone knows about that, they played like 11 player back.
Well, yeah, 11 players back. They kicked the ball out.
And they didn't care how they played. They didn't care how they look in front of the camera.
Well, style of soccer has changed too now. Imagine playing like that. Now you're going to get freaking shot left to right, and you're going to get scored on too much.
No.
So you got to change it up a bit too, right?
No, but the thing is, because the coach, he's a player. He has his tactic. He let the players follow his tactic.
Yeah, exactly.
He
knew what he was doing.
So here's the thing: when it comes to the coach, is the main responsible for everything happened in that game.
But every single player on that team, they obeyed by the coach. They obeyed his rules.
So here's the thing: if he
that's what happens in team
take him
sports.
out. So take him out, and that's what I'm saying. Even they have a lot of people. They are like they have their own way, and they think different, or like ego, whatever you mentioned before. At the end of the day, it's the coach's responsibility to manage this team. Here's the thing: after you send the players to the field, that's it. Your job is gone. However, if something happened, it's your responsibility to fix it.
Yeah.
The coach doesn't play.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: the coach doesn't, but he's the one responsible.
The coach just manages. He just puts the guys where he needs to put. That's how it is.
But the thing, if the
same in hockey
doesn't follow the manager. That's it.
That's it. You sit your ass down. You're not playing the rest of the game, or you're out of the team. That's it. I get it, but however, like Armenia's situation, if let's say if Mkhitaryan was not to listen, or let's say Mkhitaryan was not to listen, I'm just throwing names in the air, or let's just say you have Maradona right now. He was alive and he's playing. They weren't to listen. Reserves. Like top players like that who are good goal scorers, reserves cannot replace that guy. They don't have anybody else to play as good as him.
You can't understand, but
that's what's going on in Armenia's situation.
But like Mkhitaryan will play forever.
No, he won't. But he could, because if he was in the Italian Premier League,
how he
and he's this,
give him another couple of years,
he's a top goal scorer in the Premier League.
Retired in a couple of years.
That's fine, but he could have. Yeah, but he didn't play during the qualification matches. Okay, we had an easy run this time. If we could have came out of five teams, including Armenia, they're competing against 4 other ones. If they could have came 3rd place, they had a chance to get the Euro Cup for the first time.
Unfortunately,
this is where the coaching
because we started very well. We started very well this group.
I'll tell you. Okay.
Yeah, we won 3 or 4 games in a row.
Turkey was half decent. Turkey was not top 10. They were maybe in the 20s or 30s. We lost the Turkey first game 2-1. Okay. Second game, we played against Wales. Boom! We knocked them out 4-2, and they were also half decent.
No, I told you,
they weren't the greatest.
We did great in the beginning.
Right. I'm not finished yet, so let me finish first. Where I'm trying to say, 4-2. Then they beat Latvia 1-0 or 2-0, whatever that was. Then they went up against Croatia 2-1. They lost, I think, or 1-0 it was. Then they went up against Turkey. They were winning 1-0. Last fucking couple minutes or last minute, whatever the hell that was, Turkey scored. Okay, we ended up tying. This time, the next game against Latvia, buddy, every single team, they kicked Latvia's ass 3-0, 4-0.
I don't know what happened.
We fucking lost 3-0. You're going to tell me, oh, it was a mistake or this or that?
No, I don't know what happened.
Obviously, there's something wrong with the coaching, or there's something wrong with the players right there. They're probably fighting amongst each other right now. Because I know from my experience playing hockey over there in Armenia right now. See, here, hockey in Canada, the minute you start fighting amongst each other and you guys don't want to listen to the coach, you're going to fuck up the whole game. See, 3 years in a row when I played from 2017, 18, and 19, I got my team into the finals. And the team was also good, but I also scored most of the goals right there. And we got to the finals. We ended up losing. Why? Because our problem was, and my hockey coach, God rest his soul, Meher, God rest his soul, everything that I'm saying, I came to the realization too. And everything that he said that time, I'm mentioning too, whatever he said. I kept saying, why is this happening every time? We had good offense. We had good goal scorers. Besides me, we had other good goal scorers too on the Armenian team, right? But when it came defensively, let's say every single game we were up 5-0. All of a sudden, it came hard on us. Then we're down 5-5, then 6-5, and then we go up another 2 more goals, 7-5, and luckily we end up winning these first 3 or 4 games, and we get the finals. We play that tactic. We don't have very good defensively. See, in hockey, and I'm sure in soccer too, if you're up only 1 or 2 goals, you can defend the net. And you can start trying to tire that other team out psychologically, mentally, and physically, so they don't score on you. But what we're doing Armenian style, we're scoring the goals, but we're not playing back properly. That is why we got to the finals 3 times in a row from 2017 to 2019, but we end up fucking choking in the finals. See, as an Armenian, I'm admitting that. I'm not trying to knock our country or players or anybody down. We have amazing players in Armenia when it comes to hockey.
Well, not
we
just
have
in
amazing
Armenia.
players in soccer.
Well, not just in Armenia.
And my hockey coach used to say, we are not, okay, if you look at the Olympics, what are we top at? Or if you look at UFC or MMA, we're good at UFC. We're good at MMA, ultimate fighting, you know. We have freaking champions. We got 10, 20 champions. One of them is a good friend of mine, Edgar Solomonian. I love and I respect the guy, and I follow him on Instagram and Facebook, so follow him too. He is the world champion in MMA, Edgar Solomonian, and he resides in US right now. And we also have boxers, jiu-jitsu, martial arts, karate, kung fu, what else?
But you have football outside of Armenia as well.
Weightlifting, yes we do, like Home Hitman, the one you're wearing. You're about to get into that right now. All these singles competitions, when it comes to Armenian national team, or it comes to Olympics or World Championships, we're always on the top because we're singles competitors, including myself. But when it comes to team sport and communication, we have problems communicating. It could be in church, it could be in clubs, it could be anywhere in the world. Whenever we get people to talk to each other and listen and understand each other like you and I were doing right now, right? We have trouble fucking communicating. Then they start pointing fingers. Well, you did this, you did that, you're like this, you don't play like that, or you don't do this, or this is what you do, and they start yelling at each other. Friggin' big earthquake the minute you put more than 4, 5, or 10 Armenians in one room. Make sense? When it comes to team sports, we have to listen and learn. See, I know my experience from hockey over there. But all my life playing top-level hockeys in Canada, I never had that fucking problem.
Well, to be honest, like, I don't know about, like, ice hockey for Canada, but, like...
But it's similar to soccer, what I'm saying, you know?
The thing is, like...
and you've mentioned some things about that when it comes to the Italian team or the
Yeah, but,
Brazilian or
but how
German,
about
this and that.
Kingdom for football? They're not good at football. And even they play for North America, which doesn't have much
They're
good teams.
progressing. They are
Like here's the
progressing.
thing: Syria, if they play for North America, they will qualify, and Canada doesn't qualify.
Okay.
So why Canada is not good in football?
Well, here's another thing. I wish Armenia's national team, because I like to see them go to the Euro Cup or World Cup at least once.
You know,
I wish we were competing in the Asian League instead of European League.
but that's what Australia did. You know what Australia did?
Yeah, they got into the Asian League.
Yeah, because before they were on Oceanus continent.
What they were?
The Oceanus continent, like the other continent, they like like they have the other continent Oceanus, so they have half a seed, and this half a seed playing against South America.
Okay.
So they had no chance to play in the World Cup.
Yeah.
So what they end up doing, so now they play in Asia, and their players mainly they play in Europe.
And
yeah,
they're beating all the top teams over there, and they're going to World Cup. And sure, maybe if they're lucky, they get to the qualifying ground.
So that's what Australia did.
Yeah.
And because Australia is not from Asia.
And here's the thing. Armenia has the potential. They have the potential. And between 2009 to 2014, we were kicking ass in Europe. And we were up against tough European teams all the time that make more money, and they have more money into soccer. We're still progressing to that route, but we're still not there, And the problem is, every time we got into a group, just like I mentioned that thing with Azerbaijan and whatever, they fucking forfeited and they didn't give us the points. We got screwed over and a bunch of other teams too, If we were in the Asian continent,
Oceania, they call it English.
Yeah, if Armenia was in the Asian continent, we would get the World Cup and Euro Cup every single time. And sure, even if they get the World Cup or Euro Cup, and even if they don't win a single game, I don't care. At least they made it, and they are ranked 1 to 30 at least. That's what I want.
Yeah. I don't know, like Armenia, but if put it like that, if Armenia they will play in Asia, so the club of Armenia they will play in Asia. So you don't going to play against European clubs.
Yeah, when they get to the World Cup.
Go down.
Oh, okay, you'll never go down. Well, we have went down. We're already 93rd in the world.
Yeah, but no, I mean as a clubs, because they're still a club, they have competition in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going like lower, you go lower like that. Asia is all right, but still like, okay. Here's the thing: what are the best team in Asia?
The best thing.
Best teams.
Best teams. I can name you Japan, South Korea. Actually, maybe North Korea too. No. Or they're just decent. Okay.
Yeah.
Iran. Iran's amazing. Who else?
Iraq.
Australia.
Australia. That's it. Those are the main.
And they're the ones who always make it to the World Cup.
Well, you have Saudi Arabia as well.
Okay, Qatar too, no?
Qatar.
They made it because it was hosted in Qatar, right? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, they are not. But those teams, they are the main teams. So, but top two, you could say always like Japan, Iran,
Australia.
Australia is.
Okay.
Like, believe it or not, Australia, they're not as good as like Japan or like.
You just made an interesting point, I think.
So, like the thing is, but like when in Armenia, every time they play in qualification for Euro or World Cup, like the team you just like the group you just mentioned, you have Welsh, Croatia, Turkey. All they run.
They're not that good. Croatia is the best out of them. Here's the thing: if Armenia could have came second, they had a guaranteed spot. If they would have came third, they would have went the playoff round. Buddy, they lost 3-0 to fucking Latvia, and then they tied Wales, and then they lost to Croatia again. It's like they were at first Armenia when they started, they were second. Then they went down to third. They ended up going fourth, man. If we had the same team we had from 2012 to 2014 with Ospilis, Movsisyan, and Mkhitaryan, which they were still good, even though they were in their 30s, right?
Here's the thing,
If they would have had those guys,
Croatia.
I think they would have made it this time.
Here's the thing, Croatia, you talk about it, is number 10.
Yeah.
Okay, Croatia number 10. You mentioned
Which was the top in that group.
okay, but it's like South Korea is number 23.
There
Iran
you go.
21. But Croatia is number 10.
That's
Okay?
right.
So like with 29. Okay. Turkey, I hate to say that, but they are 37. So okay.
So they weren't that
So,
good. We could
What
have
do you mean
had
they're
them.
not good? In Asia,
Yeah, but if we had the same players in 2004, if we had Mkhitaryan right now, I think we would have beat
no, but
Turkey twice.
you don't see the point. Like
That's
like
what
if
I
they
think.
played in Asia, the group, whatever strong is it, they will be less than that rank.
You did make a valid point, actually. I do like the point you made, and
So
I'm going
like
to tell you why. I like.
Armenia, they played 3 teams. They are from top 40,
Mm-hmm.
like 120, 37. Okay, if they play in Asia, they say one of them on top 30, but the rest will be like 80, 90.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, so sometime when we're going to talk about something, we need to look at whole picture.
Whole picture. Yeah.
So you see,
make
like
a good
they
point
are
on
like
that.
they are top 30. Okay, but like, yeah, and Armenia is top 80, 90. So like to talk about like,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Not 80, 90, 93 right
Yeah,
now.
so
It's
yeah.
been pretty bad.
I really want to talk about Armenian, Western Armenia as well. We will keep talking about for the last 2 hours about Eastern Armenia as a nation.
Yeah, let's talk. Well, Western Armenia does not exist anymore. It's part of Turkey right now.
Well,
Even though we're trying to claim the last 110 years
here's the
since the
thing.
genocide, Turkey is in denial. Turkey does not want to accept Armenian genocide. More than 1.5 million of your ancestors and my ancestors that died. Our own Armenian government does not want to acknowledge that.
Let's forget about the government. Let's talk about the Western Armenia.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, here the thing. Even though like the world denied us, let's say, but Canada recognized the Armenian genocide.
Oh, many
France.
countries accepted it. Even Joe Biden accepted it.
No,
but
not Joe Biden. Before that, the Congress.
He did accept it, but the year after that, in 2020, freaking Azerbaijan took Nagorno-Karabakh from us.
Yeah, it's another genocide.
We fucking lost it all.
So here's the thing. Like even now, I think they studied the Armenian genocide in UK Parliament.
Yes.
So now it's a thing. So hopefully in the future will be recognized in UK as well.
We're going to wait another 110 years probably. Hopefully we don't lose
It's going
the rest
to be,
of Eastern Armenia.
No, but it's going to be the last country of the big 5 countries to recognize the Armenian genocide.
Oh, okay.
So like, however, the Western Armenian people, like,
which is guys like us that live in diaspora.
Yeah. So even though like they took the land, they killed 1.5 million, they killed all our families, but we're still surviving. And how
We're
they doing
surviving,
that?
but we're also dying too.
No, but
the minute when we're getting into mixed marriages, we're already losing.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
That's it.
Here's the thing. Armenian, you say that I'm playing here in like this shirt.
Yeah, Home Men. Yeah.
Yeah, it's St. Catherine, Hamilton.
And my father used to play for Home Men back in the day. You see his picture right here is the tallest guy on the team.
And in even in Syria and Lebanon, they have like Home Men in Lebanon. In Syria, they play for Yarmouk.
Yeah.
If you heard about. So like they are still alive. So they still like going on, and it's very great. Like here last year, we played in Montreal.
Yeah.
We have tournament there. So we have teams from Home
Men, yeah. There's Home Men Montreal. There's Home Men Toronto. There's Home Men Chicago. There's
Boston.
I did get to play for them, but it was just for fun. That time
it is fun. It's not
16. I won a gold medal with these guys.
But the main point, those Armenian, they play for Home Men and they go play against each other, and they still like. Here's the thing, we are not like professional as like a nation team. We don't have nation Western Armenia, but we're still alive by like playing for Home Men or playing for.
Is it friendly league? Is it friendly or it's amateur more like?
Well, no, it's not friendly, and like it's like the thing is 6+1.
6+1, and what do you mean by 6+1?
Like 6 players and 1 goalie.
Is it indoor soccer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So here
okay,
is
yeah.
indoor, but like in Lebanon, they play for like the league in Lebanon.
Full field, yeah.
Yeah, no, they play for the league in Lebanon.
Yeah.
In Syria, they play for Yarmouk and the league in Syria. So it's a club in Syria. So no, like here, but in Canada, North America, they play 6+1.
Oh, okay.
So
Indoor, basically.
Well,
Indoor soccer.
Well, the thing is, like we don't have much to play outside, no, in Canada. So like 6+1 is the ideal one. So it was very nice tournament. Like when you say thousands of people gathering together in Montreal, teams came from United States, teams came from Vancouver, Toronto, Cambridge, Hamilton, St. Catherine, all those places. So that's very nice to see that still alive. And the thing is, people here from Western Armenia, they very passionate about football. So they love football. So it's our main thing.
Western Armenians, you should say. Western Armenia. We're still dying and we're still crying to have it back.
So by playing under this shirt or any Armenian shirt.
Yeah, exactly. We're under this shirt, exactly like I played for the Armenian national team back then.
So they still like Armenian there.
It still means the world for me. And right now we don't have Armenian national hockey team anymore. When COVID hit 2020, that's where it stopped. And then the year after that, the coach died too. Yeah. So right now they're working on it with the federation and whatever is that. But they haven't succeeded yet. But hopefully they bring back the Armenian national team for hockey again. And I would love to go and represent and play for my country again. And with my friends who are over there, and I still love these guys.
I hope one day you're going to coach there.
Huh?
I hope one day you go coach there.
I will, but I'm still 37. I'm going to be 37 in March, actually. And I'm still young, and I'm still strong, and I'm still hungry. So I hope I play until I'm 60 at least. If I can't play or if I'm not good enough or I'm injured or something, I will coach. I will give my heart out. And I will teach them Canadian-style hockey. I'll start throwing F-bombs here and F-bombs there. This is how it's going to go.
Why not teach them Armenian-style hockey?
There is no, we haven't established Armenian-style hockey. Armenian-style hockey is my style of hockey. Canadian-Armenian-style hockey. No, but it's like, okay, like I said, we need to develop more into any team sports.
You know what? Like,
because we've also had Armenian national teams when it came to volleyball too.
You talk about Canadian, just to keep talking about Canadian. Like today, Canadian style playing football. It's like you cannot touch each other.
Yes.
No score anymore. Everyone is winning. You know that.
Okay.
So like that's not a sport.
That's not real soccer then.
It's just not a competition. Football. Like they teach the kids, there's no one losing, no one winning.
I agree with you. That's another bullshit.
You talk about Canadian style. This is the Canadian style.
Well, not when it comes to hockey.
About football.
Because.
But the thing they say, no winning, no losing, no scores, no touching, no. What is that?
That is not real soccer. No, I agree with you.
So here's the thing, I wish this style won't be ever like in any sport, because that's not a sport. A sport about competition. If you want to no winning, go run in your field alone.
Yeah.
But if you talk about sport about competition, about winning, this is the sport.
Yeah, of course.
So if you know winning, no losing, what is that?
Well, besides Armenia, I played in some other countries too. Like I've played in Western Europe too, in some countries a little lower division and stuff. Compared to us in Canada, they don't play the same style as us, but their top division, which is their national team and stuff, they learned to play our style of hockey. Now they're doing rough hitting and hard hitting and cheap shots.
But you mentioned even like in ice hockey today, it's like changing in Canada.
They're trying to, but traditionalists like me or old school
But
hockey.
you mentioned like now it's less and less.
Well, they're trying to score more, get more points,
And
and
it's
having more
slower.
skill. Yeah, but they're not moving the puck around more. But their skill, their movement is faster. However, not enough hitting. See, back in my days and way before that, it was.
So your
it
style
was-
is all
hold on,
Canadian style.
Hold on. Yeah. Well, now it hasn't changed completely. They're trying to change that because they don't want lawsuits. By lawsuits, they don't want people injured, people getting hurt, and people suing NHL or suing other players, this and that, right? Now you can get sued and stuff. There's a criminal law gets involved. So as I was saying, the problem is, okay, how do I explain it? Problem is back then, it was 60 or 70% physical, 30, 40% skill. So most of the guys who were 6'5", 6'2", 6'3". See, I'm only 5'11". I'm not even 6 foot. 99% of the guys who were past 6'2", they made it to the NHL. You have to be a goon. You have to go out there to fight. You have to go out there to scrap. You have to go out there to hit. And same time, you have to make quick passes and go in front of the net and score. That was the whole idea of the concept.
And today?
Today, slowly, they're trying to get it slowly, but they haven't yet. However, they need to bring that old school back. Well, over the years, especially in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, a lot of people started getting injured and stuff, and there was lawsuits happening. But now if they fight, they're suspending them. Before, if they fought, they give them 5-minute penalty. Now, if they injure them pretty bad, they're getting 2-3 game suspension. So they're slowly trying to fade it away, but they haven't faded away yet. But here's the problem. Now it's almost 50-50, slowly the physical part. But this is the problem with the young kids today. When I was 10, 12 years old, when I played single A, double A, triple A, we started to learn to hit and how to take hits. Now they don't get to play contact until they're 17 or 18. Even they play AAA level. So what happens now, they don't know how to hit and how to take hits. So what's going to happen in about 3-4 generations? It's not going to be the same. And also hockey is getting more expensive. It costs to play AAA. When I was 16, now I'm 36, going in 37. This is 21 years ago. It used to be $1,000 a year to play AAA, plus tournaments, plus whatnot, which was nothing that time. Even people who had minimum wage job, they could support their kids to play hockey. Now it's at least $15,000 to get them to play. Yeah. So,
and with the economy today, like people can't afford that.
That is why St. Catharines does not have a single A, a double A, triple A. Welland doesn't have. Niagara Falls doesn't have. That doesn't have. Now they have a Niagara North, Niagara South. So what happens is you got 20 kids showing up to tryouts. You know what tryouts are? See if they can make the team. And 20 players or 25 or 30 showing up to Southern Niagara Plain. They're picking 15 to 20 players, so only maybe 5 cuts or whatever. Back in my days, 200 kids used to show up to tryouts. The 1 year when I was 13, we had 1,000 kids showing up for AAA tryouts.
And that's tell you something.
Yeah.
Like exactly. Sports being ruined here.
Exactly. The generation we have now who plays for Team Canada Juniors or Team Canada Seniors, they still have that good old school feel of hockey. But now in about 3-4 generation, and it's getting more expensive all the time. Before we had wooden sticks. Wooden sticks would cost $20 and they wouldn't break as fast. Now you got plexiglass sticks that they cost $200-300. Just a hockey stick alone is $200-300. Your father needs to be a brain surgeon or a lawyer or a doctor to be able to afford all these things. Exactly.
Anyway.
So basically, you get my point to what I'm trying to say. So basically, it used to be 70-80% physical. Now it's almost 50%.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the Canadian style football for future. Like
it's not. It's not so because I've seen European style soccer and what you're describing.
You know what? Today
they play a lot more rough, and I see they play a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. And
it's not our sport.
Well,
It's not our sport for Canada.
But for kids today, like, when you go hit the ball in your head, like hit the ball, it's not allowed anymore for kids. It's banned.
What?
And when you, I think maybe when you are 15 or 16, like that, you're only allowed to hit it in your head like maybe 10 or 15 times. They have a limit for, they keep changing stuff. So you're not allowed to hit it in specific age, like you're only allowed to do. So they changed the sport to become more like girly sport.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know.
Well, I get what you're saying. Okay, earlier I had a phone number that called 365-601-0761. Let's give them a call. I think he probably wanted a comment or something like that.
Maybe it's not. Maybe something different.
Maybe it's the wrong number. Who knows?
Maybe it's ad or something. I don't know.
Because we did have some comments. We didn't get to the comments.
Okay, go to the comment.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you. Perfect. Yeah, we got a lot of positive feedback on this, so
Okay.
I'm happy with that. But like I said, so just like every country has their national sport, just like Canadians have hockey and Europeans have football, which we call soccer. Americans have American football, right? They're also really good at hockey too. They get to the top 4 or 5 every time. However, like I said, I'm gonna have a closing statement now. Also, please support Scarlett-Yan business. It's a networking business which George Ghazalian owns, and the mobile phone number is 289-925-4428.
Thank you.
Support them if you need networking, and also you need security systems, fire alarm, access control, access points, CCTV, and networking. There you go. You know where to get it. And George will give you guys a great deal. George is a good man. I've known him for years.
Thank you so much, man.
Absolutely. Well, I do appreciate you coming here. But like I said, for a closing statement, just like every country has their own national sport, and for Armenia, singles competition is our national sport. Our national sport is boxing, weightlifting, judo, karate, and obviously, I mentioned MMA. Also, wrestling, yes. Wrestling has always been our major sport, and we have world champions from all over the place, and we have MMA fighters. But I do hope one day, we get an Armenian national hockey team back. It's only developing right now. So right now we don't have a national team, but they're trying to work on it. They can solve their issues I don't want to get into. And also I hope, even though we have an Armenian national soccer team, I hope we get better management, and I hope we get whoever is, I will respect whoever is the president of the soccer federation, but I also hope we get some all-star players, and I hope our Premier League for soccer develops even more and it gets even better, so we can, reach the new heights. But I also do agree with you on that one thing you mentioned before, that if we were in the Asian League, you're right, maybe we could beat so many teams, but we would never make it to the World Cup, because the only teams that actually make it is Australia, South Korea, Japan, China, and Iran.
Iraq. Iraq, not even.
That's about it. And if they don't get to top 5, they're never going to go. And the thing is, with Europe, at least, they got better chances, because at least how many teams make it to World Cup? At least 20 teams, right?
Before 32, I think they're going to do 36.
Okay.
And the next 2026 is going to be in North America, actually.
North America.
So it's going to be in Canada, US, and Mexico.
Oh, okay.
However, it's only 10 games in Canada, 10 games in Mexico. The only we're going to host it in 2 cities in Canada. It's 5 games in Vancouver, 5 games in Toronto.
5 games in Vancouver, 5 games.
So hopefully good teams in Toronto.
Of course. Hey,
so we're going.
I never been into a soccer game, but I hope you take me to one.
No, definitely.
I'll take you to some professional hockey games, and
you can come watch us as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
If you want, come play with us as well. You're very welcome.
Oh, really? Well, I did play for fun when I was 16. Yeah, I'd love to play again. You know, I did try to reach out to Sarkis Serge Melengitchian a couple times.
You're very welcome.
He was a really good coach, by the way. But him and my dad, they always went at it when it came to soccer. Well, they both have different views, but he's a great guy too, you know. And tell me something, with home men in Lebanon or Syria, are they Premier League level right now or not anymore?
In Lebanon?
Because I'll mention when my dad used to play for home men.
No, in Lebanon, yes. Lebanon, yes. In Syria, they are second league. Yeah.
Second league, it's went down because of the war and economical crisis.
No. To be honest, like nothing to do with that, but like Syria league is much stronger, to be honest, than Lebanon.
Really? But they're in the second league. They're not in the top.
Yeah,
league.
so
interesting.
You have like teams like from Aleppo, from Homs, from Damascus. Like you have teams like Aleppo, Homs. They won the Asia League Cup.
Interesting.
So like, and they went to the final. They do great in Asia. So Armenia, if you're going to talk about budget, the Armenian budget in Syria is not as the other teams in Syria.
Yeah.
In Syria, like you have like very good budget. So
and support home men and home men. There are Armenian soccer teams all over the world. Always support them.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though they're trying, even though they don't have a high budget, but I support them. I give my heart for them.
Thank you so much.
Because it's all about the red, blue, and orange, just like that.
I think the main thing for us is we want to be there, and that's the main thing.
Absolutely.
Like even though we went through the genocide, we're still here. We don't care. We're still here. We'll fight forever.
Absolutely. And here's another thing I also want to mention too. Maybe I'm somewhat right, but you probably know more of it. My father used to tell me when he played for home men in 1980, he played also 81, 82, 83. He also won the championship for the Lebanese Premier League. At that time, my dad used to say, home men and home men, they always clashed each other, played against each other. They used to be more than thousands of Armenians and Lebanese people coming to the field back in the early 80s. Okay.
Yeah, home men is the main.
Sometimes Armenians, one side, home men, one side, home men, they'd start killing each other, beat the crap out of each other.
No, hopefully not anymore.
Not anymore, but I'm talking the 80s, right?
Yeah,
so don't forget, I was born in 87 here, but I tell you stories, right?
You talk about the time when it was like civil war in Lebanon.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing I want to mention. My dad also mentioned, in 1986, he came to Canada, and I was born in 1987, right? What my dad used to tell me, even though we home men and home men, they were in the top division in the Lebanese Premier League, and always home men or home men, they would come the top 2 every year from the 60s, the 70s to the 80s, and my dad won a championship too for that team, right? The club team. My dad used to say one day civil war would happen, soccer would stop. Another day it would get peaceful, it would start again. So we'd practice a few months and then we'd stop again. And then 86, it became a huge civil war, and my mom and dad, they had to leave there, right? Even though my dad grew up in Armenia in his childhood, but in the early 80s, my dad was in his 20s. He played for home men national team. But here's the thing, in 86, 87 we came here. No, 86 we came here. 87 I was born here. But throughout the 90s, throughout the 2000s and whatever, even though they are a club team in the Premier League in Lebanon, they are not as good as they were in
Used
the
to be, yeah.
70s, 80s.
Things has
They
been
were
changed.
in the bottom two after that.
Because a lot of people left the country. Like you need to put in account so many things. And you mentioned about the
Yeah,
war.
I want you to tell me more and give me more deep context to this.
No, just going one
Yeah.
statement about like football in general.
But about home admin, yeah.
No, just like like you talk about, you mentioned the war. Like one time in Second World War, in New Year,
Yeah.
they were fighting, German and the others, and they stopped the fighting on New Year, and they played football against each other.
Really?
So it was one of the things, like positive part of football, like how, like even like they are killing each other, but they stopped for that moment. They played football, and it was one of the things like positive.
Yeah. But when it comes to Lebanon, Syria, and that places,
no,
they
the thing is
stopped
like
totally everything.
no.
Basically,
Here's the thing, like
basically civil war in Lebanon.
Lebanon or in Syria.
Yeah.
They a lot of people left Lebanon or Syria.
Yeah, give me more context to that, because I did mention 86. See, I only know Lebanon back in the 80s and a little bit in the 90s. Mention me more, even the time you were there and before that.
No, like
what's going on? You did mention people left.
Yeah, like people left.
So many
like
times.
you have people like in both those countries over the years, they leaving the country for one reason or other, wars or other reasons. So in that case, like you cannot keep going on as used to be. Like this, we have Sarkis here used to play for Syria and Lebanon, but at the end of the day, like life forced people to leave their country. So in that case, like you have a player,
life forced them to leave.
Yeah, so you have a player today, and tomorrow he's not there anymore. So it's thing changing, and especially like in Lebanon, like in basketball, amendment is very still good. Not as good as football, but that's the thing, because people leave all the time, so they travel, they move to other countries. So that affects sport a lot. It's not like Eastern, like Armenian, because at the end they have a national team.
Yeah.
Even if they move out.
Yeah, and it's an official country, and it was always protected by Russians, even though it became independent in 1991. But until this day, we still have Russian soldiers there in the stead. But now they're trying to screw that up right now, and we're about to lose Eastern Armenia too. But that's another
but based
topic.
on the national team, even if they move out, like Mkhitaryan or other players, they go to Europe to play or move out of the country. But at the end of the day, they still come back to play for national team. Because it's organized national team.
It's organized, no war. It's more civil.
Even this war, it's a national team. It's organized under the FIFA. It's so many levels.
Oh, okay.
Whereas like Western Armenian, we
like Home Admin or Home Admin.
Yeah, so
it's organized under a different country, basically.
Yes. So
it's
like
not officially part of Armenia.
Exactly. So like even if you play in Syria or Lebanon, it's still like you don't like you play for national team for both of them, but it's not you're not playing for Armenian. By the way, Armenian in Syria or Lebanon, they are part of the country. Like which I mean, like they do their duty for each level at work, sport. Each level they do their duty. They don't run away.
Yeah, Armenians in Syria.
Syria or Lebanon, so they do their duty.
Yeah, so they don't make money in the soccer, so they make money into something else, or they have their full-time job.
Yeah, but I mean they are part of the community.
Yeah.
100%. They have passion for the country as well. Yeah. But at the end, even if they move out of Syria or Lebanon, for example, they came to Canada, they still go find where the homeland there. So we have St. Catherine, Hamilton, Cambridge, Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal. You have so many cities. You go join them and play with them. It's not professional, but at the end of the day, you are part.
They try to keep communities together.
Yes,
which is a good thing.
Yeah, so I love that.
Instead of politics or political parties, I think we need to bring soccer together. Everything soccer will bring everybody together.
I think so.
I think so
Well,
too.
sometimes
I would
I
say hockey, but not every Armenian plays
Yeah.
hockey.
No, I
Very
think
few.
I don't know even know the
No,
rules.
but it's a good point. I like that. See,
Yeah.
soccer brings love to everybody. It's like a child, basically. I look at this ball or any soccer ball like a baby. So yeah, Armenians coming from different parts of the world, they look for their club, they look for their church, they look and they get together. See, I wish whether whole Canada and whole US or a lot of parts in the world where Armenians we live, I wish we only had one club and one church, and I wish we had all one ideology. See, here's another thing I want to mention. I came up with a political party, okay? A real political party, but not official.
Yeah.
But one day, once I get an Armenian citizenship, Haygagan Kakatsiutyun, I'm translating now in Armenian because I cannot translate the whole thing unless I have somebody do it. I created a political party. One day I become an Armenian citizen. I'm going to start my own campaign, and I'm really going to get into politics because in Armenia, they really don't understand politics, I think. Previous, the ones in the middle, and the ones right now, okay? With my own Canadian psychology, born and raised in Canada, I'd be a perfect Donald Trump for Armenia. And I would keep Armenian interests. It's like we need Canadian interests. My political party is Hayastan, Hayutun, Hayrenik. Hayastan, Hayutun, Hayrenik. Just like my good friend from Radio Brazil, Armenia Eterna, he says, Hayutun, Hayutun, Mish, Mish, Hayutun. That attracts Armenians, always Armenians, basically. Mine is Hayastan, Hayutun, Hayrenik. That means Armenia, Armenians, and fatherland. Armenians, fatherland. And it's HHH. That's what we need. Forget about everything we had before. Now I have another new Canadian movement, a newly reformed movement. But our nationality is still Armenian. Our flag is still Armenian, red, blue, and orange. And our church is still Arakelagam Yegeretsi, Armenian church. Not Jehovah Witness, not this, not 50, 52. There's a new.
I don't know.
Or Catholic or this and that. Hold on. I respect everybody. I know you're born as a Roman Catholic, but we have to come back to the Armenian church.
I stop you saying.
Yeah.
I didn't realize as a Roman Catholic.
Oh.
As an Armenian Catholic.
Armenian Catholic. But,
no, it's a big difference.
Okay. But you know how Armenian Catholics formed, right? If you know the history, right?
But here, like, there are so many stories, but here's the thing. We're not Roman Catholic, we are
Armenian Catholic.
Which
I know.
Is, like, is a different there because we keep our, like, when you go to the Armenian Catholic Church, it's the same mass as Orthodox.
Okay, but let me take my word back. I'm not trying to offend anybody. What I'm trying to say is Lebanon, Syria, especially in those places, and right now here in Canada, we got 10 different Armenian churches. Same in California.
No. Here's the thing. Our cross is two. It's Antilias and Eshmiyazi.
Yes. So, however, they need to unite, I believe. And I'll tell you why they need to unite. Because it's the same concept. The Dervo Ormia, the Hayrmer, the prayers is all the same.
Catholic the same.
But the denomination, it's the same. It's Arakelagan Yegeretsi. They need to unite. And you know what? Here's what it is. Okay. Let me put it to you in layman terms. Our father is year 301 Armenian church, Armenian Christianity. 301, we became first Christian nation as a state. And we started building churches. We got rid of paganism, right? Our father is the Catholicos. And our father is Aram Catholicos too and Antolias.
Yes.
Okay, we got two fathers right now. We need to unite. This is what I believe. During genocide times, those who became Protestant in the late 1800s, early 1900s, those who became Protestant Armenians, they got help and they got saved. Those who became Catholic Armenians, they got bread, they got food, and they got saved too. Roman Catholics, they came to our aid. They wanted to come to our aid because we are stubborn, and it's a good thing we are. We said, no, we're not going to join Roman Catholicism. We're not going to lose our Armenian faith because we are the first Christian country. We're not going to join any other denomination. A lot of Christian Armenians, which is original Arakelagan, that's what we call it, first Christian nation, I like to call it. Those who became other denomination, whether Catholic or Protestant or Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's Witness is the worst.
No, we'll not talk about them.
No, I want to mention. I do want to mention. All for money, all for running away from genocide. No, you cannot compare
Catholic to them.
No, I'm not going to because totally.
It's like
that's another stupidity.
No, because it's not even.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is, those who didn't get massacred and those who got a free way to run or something, they joined other denomination. But our original denomination, Armenian Church, First Christian Nation in 301, which is Holy Echmiadzin, it was, not only it's the originators, we are the oldest Christianity
in the world,
That's what's keeping our identity alive as Armenians.
Indeed, I always say we are Christian.
But,
if you are Armenian,
you are Christian. Also we are the poorest. We're the poorest today. Yes, you Armenian, doesn't matter if you're baptized as Armenian Catholic, I still consider you my brother, and I still consider it because I see you at the Armenian church all the time, and I respect that. And even if you go to that church, that's fine too. No problem.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
But in the end, we die for our Christianity.
Here's the thing. If you are Armenian, you are Christian.
Absolutely.
Catholic. Here's the thing. Like if you come back all time, a Catholic and Orthodox are
separate.
They are once and they're separate.
Yeah.
So they're like
and they never followed us. They should have followed us. I think
the Catholic today is much different than Catholic back time.
Oh, of course it is.
The Catholic today is not even Catholic anymore.
A lot. Yeah.
No, they're not even. So let me tell you something about Catholic. Catholic today are Protestant. Like the view of the Catholic today is still pretty much Protestant. They're not even Catholic anymore.
Absolutely.
I don't want to talk about that, but the thing is like Catholic 100 years ago is much different than Catholic today.
Absolutely.
So Catholic back time is a Christian.
Yeah.
It's a Christian value. Everything about Christianity. Today they start changing their view. They become Protestant. What's the difference between Catholic today and Protestant? Nothing.
No difference.
It's just a name.
And they're all following one higher power. They're following the same higher power. Instead of going with the old traditional ways.
So that's the thing. 100 years ago, Catholic and Orthodox, we have the communion. We believe in God. We believe that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We believe Jesus died and rise.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that as a Catholic and Orthodox is the same.
Denominations, they separated everybody.
No, here's the thing: is put it like a politics party like that. But as a Christianity, Catholic all time, Catholic and Orthodox is the same.
Yeah, they were the same.
Yeah, but today is a much different.
Yes, but here's the thing too.
Back time, the Holy Communion only for the priest to give it.
Absolutely.
Go to the Catholic Church today. Anyone can give you the communion.
I went to a French Catholic school, French immersion Catholic school when I was in grade 5, grade 6. The priest was given Holy Communion, and also one of our teachers were given Holy Communion. How the fuck does that work?
Nothing. As a Catholic, 100 years ago,
only gives
100. But here's the thing. Politician, Western fought the Catholic for so many years.
Yeah.
To change their view,
Absolutely.
To change how they behave. Like that's today. There's no much difference between Catholic and Protestant. And actually, Catholic today is another name of Protestant.
Well, here's the thing. If we get more deeper, one day we'll talk about all this and we'll compare all of it and we'll talk the history about this. This is an interesting subject. And I do agree with you on this. This has to be talked about too.
Oh yeah, another time.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing. Armenian Christianity, luckily we are still following the old tradition and we're not changing it, and we shouldn't have to change it.
Exactly.
Because if we change it and we become newly reformed, then we become like the Protestants and all these other, we're going to lose our cultural identity. Then it makes no difference. And here's the thing. During the genocide time, even the Vartan Mamigonian time, Catholics tried to come to us because they were a lot richer and they had more money and they wanted to take over us. We said no. Because put it this way, in the year 301, when we became first Christian nation, and in year 303, we created Holy Etchmiadzin, okay? 700 years later, 1012 AD, something like that, Eastern Europe became Greek Orthodox, Western Europe became Roman Catholic, 700 years after they came after us. So we're the ones who taught them the Christianity at that time, if we go back to that time.
Yeah.
But in today's day and standard, they don't practice even their own stuff.
Well, that's the because the Armenian went through very tough time over the years, and it's always a kind of
it's always been in poverty, and it's always been, this is the problem, it's always been taken over from another big nation, and we had to always fight our ways through. But the Ottoman Empire was the worst. But like I said, we got to go through all this. But like I said, in the end, every Armenian, doesn't matter what denomination they belong to, they're still my brothers and my sisters. They have to come back to the Armenian Christianity. And even Antolias and Etchmiadzin, they are both my blood brothers, and they follow the Christianity the same way. Only thing is, they just want to separate. We got to get into those one day.
Okay.
And here's the thing. So yeah, you kind of understood what I meant without any offending anybody, this and that.
Yes, okay.
After all, we've kept that Christianity more than 2,000, couple hundred years, 2,000 more years. We need to keep that tradition, else we're going to lose cultural identity. And unfortunately, with our new government today, they're literally ignoring Christianity, and they're trying to destroy. And a lot of people, they're living together without even getting married anymore. They're just going to government building, just like the North American Western way. We're losing that culture, you know. Anyways, this is a wrap up. Once again, thank you for coming today, George.
Thank you, Sarkis.
We're going to have to finish this up.
Okay.
Remember,